Welcome back, adventurers. It is I, your host, Ryan Rust Live. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day today. How are all of you? Hope everyone's doing splendidly. It's wonderful to see you. Jackie, Rin, Ghostly, Jade, hello, hello, hello. How's everyone's day going? I'm excited. We got random encounter with Ghostly today. I also got a friend here. Betty. She's been vibing with me all afternoon. Envy, hello. He's being a punk. He's in a mischievous mood. I think he wants to be fed, but it's not time for him to be fed yet. Huh, buddy? A backpack? Anyway, I see Jade. Watch this. He's gonna jump over right away. Here you go, right here. They can see ya. Easy. Yeah. Oh, Nova, you heard the treat case open? Hi. Now it's time. Do you see her down here? Did she pop up for a second? Nova. Nova, come here. Hi, Gertie. Hi. I'll give one for you too. Oh, no, you gotta go. Your turn. See, do you see her hiding down there? Here. Here you go. Here you go. One for you. There you go. We got the whole family together. No, you already had one, buddy. You're getting spoiled rotten. Spoiled rotten, aren't ya? He's hiding under there. How is everybody? I'm excited we got our random encounter with Ghostly today. I've been pumping out surprises for season 2 of This Is Why You Died. What else? I recorded some offline VODs. I'm finally getting to the Hollow Knight series that everybody asked for in the fall. That's exciting too. What else? Yeah, we got some Hollow Knight in. I've officially gotten further, I think, than I've ever gotten before. What else? Oh, we got some new patrons. Death, Hermes, and Ghostly all joined the Patreon earlier this week. And so their names have been added to the front and back of stream. So enjoy that. They get some access to some, they get access to the offline recording content in the Discord, as well as if they didn't already have access to sub chats and stuff. So there's some cool perks with the Patreon. And now their names are there for everybody to see, which is cool. I do have, oh, not yet sponsored time, ready for drinking. Little focus, there we are. I'm also very excited. Tot's making grilled cheese, which I'm pumped about. Cheers, chat. 3, 2, 1. Oh, there it is. Wait for it. Wait for it. Come on. There it is. Got some wet finger. There's some wet finger. Cheers, chat. Cheers, Ghostly. Cheers, Envy. So what else? Real quick. The music might not be coming from the right place. Let me check. Let me make sure that we're protected on the VOD this time. This it? There we go. Hold, please. All right, there we go. I figured it out. Did that change the volume for you guys? Is the music okay volume now? Or was it already that volume? It's slightly louder. Please hold for a moment while I figure this out. Come on, refresh cache. Main settings. No. Akame, hello! Yeah, okay, hold on. Something about my music is messy. I'm trying to figure out what that messiness is. Give me half a second, because I don't want to run into issues where we run into copyright strikes if people do the song request. Yeah. What is it? Oh, really? Can you guys hear him? I'm present. I'm ready for content. Let's go. You guys have heard of Wiccans? Have you heard of Wakame? Why am I crazy? That's why. I'm just dumb. Yeah. I'm just a dumb boy who forgets how things work sometimes. But it's fine. Is it better now? It should be better now. Ready for content, hopes, and dreams? I can deliver those, I hope. Jade, is the music better? A little better balance. Is it too quiet now? Hello. Might be too quiet. All right, I can fix that. How's there? That seems like a good spot, potentially. Like there-ish. Hell yeah. And we'll keep it there. And pray that that is a level that stays consistent. He's just becoming my buddy. Literally, I'm not joking. So he's gone through phases. Not of being my buddy. He's always my buddy. But let me rephrase. He's becoming like my stream familiar. Because there's a long period of time where while I would game, he would come and he would lay on my lap while I gamed. And he still does that. Like he did that pretty consistently for a bit, and then he decided against it. And now it's like he kind of mixes it in. But now what he likes to do is he comes and he likes to lay up here. And he'll just splay out on this paper and stuff and chill all over here for like the whole afternoon with me. It's great. He's becoming my little desk familiar. And then he'll maneuver around, but he's decided that this is his spot, which I am all for. I am all about it. Him being my little desk familiar. If I had more room in this corner, I would set up a bed, like one of those like lifted beds. And maybe when we move out of here to another location, that is in the cards, because I know, so Tot has, you can kind of see just behind the lamp, she has a cat bed above her monitor, and they take turns up on that one, but Nova will like peer over her monitor at her and like put her head on Tot's monitor while she's gaming and stuff. He doesn't tend to engage to that degree, but oh, it's so cute. She also loves watching games. The other day, I was, when season 3 of Marvel Rivals launched, I was logging in and looking at all the stuff. And, oh, have you never seen this, Akame? Yeah, this is the room. Don't ignore Tot's side. She's in the process of cleaning it. She said that she doesn't want to be, she knows it's messy. So she's mid-project, but this is the setup. Yeah, I have a bunch of different angles, and I'm planning to add more. Actually, fun fact, for those who listen to the podcast, there's my Avengers bucket. That's my bucket of prompts for This Is Why You Died. Anyway. Words, brain, things to say. Yes, so they love the little cat bed, and I would love to get one myself, but right now I don't really have any space to attach it. And like, if I were to put a bed up, it would have to be like up here, and there's no way for them to reasonably reach that, because this part of my desk doesn't have a lot of space for them to actually get up to it. So that is a thing for an eventual day, but not this day, unfortunately. But yes, today is going to be a chill stream. We're going to have Ghostly on with us here shortly to do some random encounter. If you're not familiar with random encounter, it's a segment we do once a month on the second Tuesday of every month, where a member of the community, and it can be anybody, comes onto the stream with me, and we all get to know them better. And so we kind of have like a little talk show, podcasty interview style back and forth, where I essentially just talk to them about who they are and what they do and what they're about, and the community can ask questions. And we do it once a month. And if you ever want to be a part of it, in the Discord, there's a channel called Encounter Entry, and it has a little Google form that you can fill out. It takes like less than 2 minutes to fill out. And at the end of every month, I draw from all the entries from that Google form at random, and whoever is selected is the next guest. So we've been doing it for a little over a year. We've talked to pretty much all of the mods, I think, except I don't, so we've had, let me see. We've had Treble, Hermes, T-Money, Jade, Blind Jim, Rin, Saber, McManiac, Jackie, Death, Adam Rush, Ghostly, Psystorm. Am I missing anybody? Charchu. Hello. We had a random encounter with Charchu. I have a whole list somewhere, but anyway, we've had a lot of random encounters. We've been doing it almost, I guess at this point, close to a year and a half. And so it's super fun. And so it's a great way for the community to get to know you better. Anyone is welcome. So if you're interested at all, go ahead, fill out that form. And then we've been doing it long enough. Now they're going up on the VOD channel, but there's a number of people who did it before we started putting them on the VOD channel. And so if we run out of entries on the Google form, I will reopen it up to people who have been here prior, or been on prior to the VOD channel. So I want to make sure that those people get the chance to have theirs recorded as well. But yeah, it's super fun. It's a good old time, grand old time. I hope everyone's having a wonderful Tuesday. I've been very productive. I took this week off work, so that I could focus on getting some of the offline content spun up. Now that we're almost caught up on VODs. Next week will be the last week where we have previous VODs in the week for the VOD channel. And so in 2 weeks, all of our VODs will be uploaded the night after. So Tuesday's streams will be up as VODs on Wednesday, and Thursday streams will be up as VODs on Friday. And so Wednesday and Friday will always have VODs, but then Tuesdays and Thursdays we need content for. So I have started recording some of the offline content, including we're doing the Hollow Knight playthrough first, because that's what people voted on in the fall. And then I've got a couple other games backed up that I want to play through that are like single player games that normally wouldn't be games that would do super well on stream. I'm going to be recording those. Things like Magic openings. Rather than doing those on stream, I'll be putting those on the VOD channel as well. I've got a whole bag of Magic cards ready for opening. So those type of things will be on the VOD channel, and then we'll have, of course, our regular streams as always. And then Mondays will be D&D episodes if we have them. I'm starting to get to the point. I think this last episode actually was the last banked D&D episode I have, and so we will get more D&D episodes as we play more. But yeah, so that's kind of everything going on. I hope everyone's doing well. What else? There is one stream at the end of this month that I'm going to miss for work. I have to go back up to San Francisco for work. So there's a Tuesday at the end of the month that I will be skipping one stream, but it's just a Tuesday, and then I'll be back on Thursday as normal. And I don't think there's any other major stuff happening that I'll have to miss stream for until like October. And it'll be like TwitchCon. So, and actually TwitchCon I'm hoping to do some more IRL stuff like we did last year, where I like take a camera around TwitchCon and show you guys around. But I'm trying to see if I can make the setup a little bit more consistent, because we had the whole backpack last time, and the backpack works great, but it's expensive and it's not as reliable as I would like it to be. And so I'm trying to see if I can find some other ways to make it a little bit more compact, a little bit cheaper, and a little bit more reliable and consistent quality wise. So exploring some of that. Excited to kind of see how it all shapes together. But that is kind of the long and short of everything. How is everybody? How's everyone enjoying the peak update? I got to play it a little bit yesterday. I almost got the ant badge, and then we got sucked up by a tornado, and I was very sad. Having a wonderful night. Glad to hear it. If you yet to try peak, it's good. I can confirm it is very good. I'm also excited for Wildgate on Thursday. It's going to be Death Hermes, Team Money, and I. So, and then what else? This Sunday is a new episode of the podcast. We have Green Room and Inside coming out this Sunday for the podcast. It is our third to last episode of season 1. We have 3 episodes left of season 1 before our season finale, and we do a bunch of fun, crazy stuff for season 2. I'm very excited about that as well. I've been making big plans. I've got some surprises in the works. I have a hard time getting into games that aren't story-based or RPGs of late. Well, it's got a story. It's got more of a story than you'd think. There's definitely a story to it. But it is more roguelike in nature. I guess not roguelike, but I guess randomly generated. It has roguelike elements, I guess I would say. I would recommend it. It's a good one. More single player stories. It can also be played single player. And you still get the story that way. So worth trying. I do recommend. One that I'm very excited to get to and I haven't yet is Clair Obscur. I've heard Clair Obscur is like potentially game of the year. From like a lot of different people. So we do have a stretch break coming up in just a few minutes. So it'll be a great time to get some water, stretch your legs, touch grass, move around, do your thing. Definitely heads up that will be happening. And then once we get out of that stretch break is when we'll be starting our random encounter with Ghostly. I'm still missing the red mushroom. The red mushroom has vanished from existence. I have no idea where it is. It's gone forever. Hopefully it will turn up, but it was absconded with by one of the cats. Vibin'. All right. Anybody got any questions? Anything that they want to talk about before we start getting started today? Oh, did I ever fix my shout out? I think I did. I think I fixed it. Yeah, I did. I'm a silly goose. Got some cool stuff in the mail from Amazon today. What did you get? What'd you order? Or was it a gift? One minute to our stretch break, folks. 1 minute. So if you get the opportunity, now's your chance. If you want to take advantage of a stretch break, it's coming up in 1 minute. Those of you who are not subscribed, it's a great opportunity to get some water, stretch your legs, do your whole thing. Got outlet converts for Japan and compression socks. Oh yeah, because your trip's like soonish, right? Song request is on, by the way. If anyone wants to request some tunes, you are free to do so. Ooh. 18 days is not far. And you're going to be gone. You said you're going to be gone for like a bit, right? It's like more than a week or something. "17 days. All right. So yeah, it's a long trip. Well, that'll be super fun. I'm excited for you. The hecka MIA. No worries. That is what those type of trips are for, is to go and experience different parts of the world. Good. Glad to hear it. All right, chat. We are approaching that stretch break. So now's a great time to get some water, stretch your legs, use the bathroom, touch grass, look out a window. Feel your arms, your legs, your body. That was a weird way to put that, but you know what I mean. Enjoy the moment for a bit. Then once we wrap that stretch break up, we're going to be hopping in with Ghostly and doing this random encounter. So Ghostly, if you are here, I'm going to hop into... Oh, you are already in Peanut Gallery. Perfect. So then once we get out of this stretch break, then I will move on to our BRB and we will get you all set up. Aye, aye. What else, chat? I think that's a pretty good spread of all the stuff going on. I'm excited. We've got a lot of different irons in the fire, and a lot of them are going pretty well, and that's exciting. That's all very exciting news. All right, chat. 90 seconds. I'm going to start getting us set up, and I'll see you in just a second. I swear DoorDash is just every Lamb of God concert. What?
What?
I'm going to go get some Takis. All right, enjoy. I have no idea what that sentence means.
I don't either.
DoorDash is just every Lamb of God concert.
I could picture a Lamb of God concert, but I don't see how that's DoorDash.
I'm so confused. Oh, DoorDash in the game.
Oh, DoorDash in the game?
Oh my
True.
God.
True.
We're so dumb.
True.
We're so dumb. Oh my God.
True.
Oh my God, my soul hurts. Holy shit. Somehow it got to me, like, saying out loud, like, I'm here in the bathroom at work. Gotta make sure that we get it. What is going on? Guys!
Hugs everywhere.
What the fuck are you doing? Hey, thanks for the emote. What the fuck is going on? You guys are insanity. Oh my God. I'm going back to music. We got, hold on. Let me, nope, that's wrong. Fucking, fuck. I'm all screwed up. Hold on. Put this back. Ah, I'm so flustered. Ah, you guys are insanity. Thank you so much. Oh my God.
There's gotta be some sort of throttle or accelerator.
Do you know what that looks like?
I don't know.
Help me find it!
Holy shit. Oh, I should unmute both of us. I was like, and here we are, and that was silent. But here we are. Now we're here. We are here with Ghostly. Let me actually switch to the category that we should be in. And oh, hi, hello.
Hi, Tot.
No, you're the best. Ghostly says hello. He said hello. Bad timing. Sorry. So everybody, this is Ghostly for. I think this is your face reveal for stream. Is it not?
Face reveal. Yep.
Let's go. So welcome. Good to see you. How are you?
Pleasure to be here. I'm doing pretty well today. How are you doing, Ryan? How's chat doing today?
I'm doing great. I've been super productive today. I'm excited to kind of dive in. So let's just hit it right off. Like, what if you would to describe yourself to the community? What are some things that you would like the community to know about you off the rip, just straight off the bat?
Off the rip. If we are playing Helldivers, stay away from me. I am a menace to society.
But you will have a lot of amazing laughs.
Mm-hmm.
That's a true thing.
Let's see, because you'll probably accidentally get lit on fire. Accidentally. You may blow up for no reason.
He likes fire kits and Helldivers.
Mm-hmm. And big explosions. Ryan and
That's like
Jackie
half of
can
Helldivers,
attest to
though.
that. That's true.
Like half of Helldivers
That's
is
true.
big explosions.
Mm-hmm. Especially with the latest trailer. Did you see the latest trailer for Helldivers?
I saw the ODST tease.
Ooh, okay. So you haven't seen the rest of it? Okay.
Oh, did they release like a trailer?
Oh no. Well, that's the tease at the end of the trailer. It's
Okay.
I mean, it's just a trailer that. The song choice that they made is perfect for Helldivers because it's just boom, here comes the boom. And I don't remember what the song is called, but it's
Likes to push people off mountains. Wasn't in this?
Hey, that might have happened a couple of times.
In what game?
I think Rin is talking about Peak.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense.
Even though I'm pretty sure that those times were actually accidental. I'm pretty sure they're actually accidental.
A couple, she says in all caps. A couple were accidental. I will say, I will give Ghostly credit as we're getting started. I think that Ghostly definitively has the most enthusiastic laugh in the community. I think out of everyone, Ghostly has the most enthusiastic laugh for sure.
No, I'm flattered. I'm flattered you think that.
But yeah, so how did you like? I've known you for a while now. You've been a part of the community for at least I actually I'm not sure how long, but it's been a while.
So we're getting I know we're getting close to 2 years, I think, because last month was my 20 I think last month was my 22-month anniversary.
Jesus
So
Christ, I feel
closing
old.
it. Hey, I feel old too. I'm getting closer and closer to 30, and it's like I'm still a little over a year away from that, but it's like I'm getting close to that. I don't like it.
I'm withering on screen right now, but continue.
Yeah, so I came into the community about almost 2 years ago, and I am actually a friend of Hermes in real life, IRL, and fun story. I got to talk about how I ended up meeting Hermes, and there's a little bit of a story to that. But back in because I'm gonna start way before.
Do it.
Like a
We
couple
got
years before.
time.
So back in 2018, the winter of 2018, very end of 2018, I start my new job, and it's like, okay, cool. I have a job. Well, technically, it was an internship at that time. Not internship. It was a temporary job. But I start as a temp at this new job. Things are going well. And it's like, you know what? I'm gonna start going out and do stuff I wouldn't do before, and that's gonna be going to a game store and joining an open D&D table. Hermes spoilers.
Cheating on death. We heard it here first. Continue.
So I go to this local game store, and I'm there for about half a year for this one campaign that the dungeon master is running, and it's a really good time for a first time player. It was a really good experience, and I'm thinking, oh, this is great. I love this DM. I'm gonna keep coming here for forever and ever. And then we wrap up that campaign in a pretty awesome way. For people who don't know about the Eldrazi, we were pretty much Vikings fighting Eldrazi gods, and we barely succeeded in banishing them, with only minor casualties, surprisingly.
There you go.
And so we take a couple weeks off of that, and then a new DM comes in. And he says, okay, I'm gonna run this Dark Souls style game. It's gonna be super tough, super brutal. And I'm thinking, oh, this is gonna be fun. We get 2 sessions in, then actually Kristen shows up the third session, and that's how her and I met.
I did not know this actually.
And fun ghostly lore. So yeah, Chris and I meet at this new campaign. Things seem to have been going well, but then some cracks start to show in the way that the DM is DMing, and becomes very much. It becomes a very much not enjoyable experience, especially in a moment where my character and Kristen's character, something starts going after her character, and I was playing a paladin at the time, and I had a ring that gave me flight, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna grab Kristen's character with consent, and we're gonna fly out of this cavern, and we'll have all the rest deal with whatever's following us, and we get out, we're safe, and you get knocked out. What? I have like a super high AC because I'm a paladin, for crying out loud. Yeah. I got pretty good armor. I've got decent wisdom. Kristen was playing a monk, so she's got pretty high wisdom. And it's like, so we're just knocked out. And he's like, yeah,
No
you're knocked out.
explanation, no nothing.
No explanation. His explanation was, oh yeah, you feel a sharp pain in the back of your head, and you are knocked out.
Okay.
It's like, I don't even get a roll. What's this? I don't get a roll for this. And then fast forward to 2 sessions later. Well, sorry, not 2 sessions. Fast forward to next session. Kristen and I are messaging each other over Discord, coming up with a plan to escape, and we're thinking, oh, this is gonna be great.
Okay.
I'm just gonna cast spiritual guardian, not spiritual. What is that? It's a high level spell. It's a guardian that
Guardian of Faith?
that can. Yes, Guardian of Faith. I'm gonna cast Guardian of Faith, so that way once I bust the cage door off, we'll have some cover and some time to get our gear, and goes well until stuff happens in the boss fight with all the rest, where the dungeon master starts. Oh yeah, and this guy attacks you and hits you. He doesn't need a roll. It's like
Fun.
It's like, so all this AC that we got is not helping all the stuff that we have.
We're just gonna ignore basic elements of chance of the game.
Yes, and I think that was Kristen's last session. I think I gave it one more session before. Okay, so I need to add that the store did change location midway through this campaign. So I started at that time. I was already driving an hour to work, so with it moving, my drive to the game store went from a 10-minute drive to about a 25-minute drive. So it's like I'm starting to get worn out by both life and kind of this crappy stuff happening with the DM.
Just being in the car
in game
for so long between commute and then also the game store.
Yeah, I'm essentially spending almost a sixth of my day in a car, and I hated it. And I just messaged the DM, hey, I can't do this anymore because I'm doing a lot of driving. I mean, I was gonna leave the game anyway because I wasn't enjoying myself anymore.
But it's an easy excuse.
And yeah, then a little bit after that, Kristen messages me and says, hey, so that happened, but I want to run a game with a couple of people that were actually pretty decent. Stuff happened with them later. That's for Kristen. That's for Kristen to tell, but not
story.
Me. Yeah, that's a Kristen story. That's not a me story. Some stuff happened with them, and then so Kristen still runs that campaign for a little bit. Things went somewhat well. Some stuff happened, and then the campaign's just canceled. But then Kristen tells me, "Hey, I have a friend, Zach, who is running his homebrew campaign. You're actually Ghostly. You're actually a pretty decent guy, and he was wondering if I could invite you along because I've told him a little bit about you." And it's like, okay, cool, yeah. I've never met this guy before, so I'm terrified.
Yeah.
And then there's
but it's
3
a friend
other
of a
people.
friend at that point, which at least is a start.
But there's also 3 other people that I've never met before that I'm gonna play D&D with. So I'm like, am I gonna walk into what kind of place am I walking into? What's that first session? Things were really cool. We had a good time. We did that camp and we played that campaign for a good year and a half before scheduling conflicts got in the way.
The true BBEG of all D&D as adults. Scheduling.
Yeah, and then I think that was around the time when COVID was really playing a big factor too. And then that stuff happened, and all that stuff happened. Kristen tried to get another game running, which we got about 5 sessions in before scheduling issues happened again. And then
those ones are always tough because you barely get them off the ground. And you're like, oh, I built this character, and now this character is so unrealized, and they're just gone.
Yeah. And then then I start running a game for just Kristen and Zach because I want to dip my toes into it, and things went pretty well. And then I just got super busy and wasn't able to really plan much anymore with work because that was also around that time when I became the only person in my department at work. So
Speaking of, what do you do for work? This is a quick.
So I work as a process engineering coordinator. I'm in charge
That is a
of
very
making
technical title.
Yes, I like to say that I'm just a glorified drafting coordinator because I manage because really that's what I am. I manage the drawings of my company's products, so that way our shop guys are able to put it together effectively and efficiently.
Is it like mechanical, or is it like architectural?
Yes.
Okay.
Mechanical, very mechanical. I'm manage all the mechanical drawings, all of the bill of materials. And if anybody ever hears me say bomb when I'm talking about work, I mean bill of material. It's just that's just how I'm wired to. I have been wired to say it for the past 6 years now.
I will say maybe avoid bomb and wired in the same sentence, but fair.
Yeah, you're right. I should. That could some things could really explode there. What couldn't it?
What you're saying?
Yeah,
so you're leading these games for Christian and
Zach, and then
Zach.
they kind of fell off because like I said, I got super busy and I couldn't plan anything anymore because I was working a lot of overtime at work. And then fast forward a few years, Kristen is talking about how she's missing D&D and tells Zach and I about this like public D&D event that's put on by some place over in Goshen.
I've heard of this event. Believe it or not.
And I'm pretty sure you've heard of the very event that Hermes met Kristen.
Potentially.
And then originally I was going to go to it, but I woke up with a really bad migraine. So I stayed home. I don't know if Zach went, but I know Kristen went. And afterwards she messages us, "Oh, I met some of these really cool people, and I want to run a D&D game with them, and you guys are obviously going to be a part of it." And then we me being a little nervous of people that I haven't met yet, especially with some past experience at that point with some players at D&D events or D&D tables. Oh, was he? Oh, that's right. I forgot because he's I forgot that Zach was running that because people said they could hear him.
Is he a loud boy?
He can be.
Fair.
When he runs a game, he is a great dungeon master.
That's awesome.
Don't Hermes, don't tell Kristen this, but I really like Zach's dungeon master style.
Kristen, if you're watching, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Kristen. You're a great DM too. I promise.
Anyway, so Kristen goes and meets, and also to be fair, I love the style of like the classic D&D group thing of like, hey, I have a group together and you're invited whether you like it or not.
Yes.
And like,
yes.
I have a plan. Like, okay, I guess we're in. Like,
yes, and then she sets up a Discord server. We schedule a session 0, and we all join it. Hermes is there, the other 2 players are there. Zach and I are there. Kristen's there, and it's like, so guys, this is everybody. Meet everybody, and so we're introducing ourselves. So I decided to actually bring back my last character in the campaign that got stop short. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna introduce myself in character. And I had one person one of the new people convinced that I was actually British.
Amazing. Amazing.
I had her convinced I was British, and she didn't realize it until we met in person for our first session that I wasn't. And funnily enough, when we all met in person, we all got along super well.
Good.
We all were cracking jokes pretty easily, and we just had a really good time. And we were like, you know, no, this is gonna work. And I'm pretty sure, Hermes, correct me if I'm wrong, but here we are 3 years later, and I forgot about that. I did forget about that. Yeah.
To be fair, I think I heard a little bit about this original couple sessions from Hermes' end, because I remember Hermes describing the event and like how I believe, Hermes, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was your first time going, right? I remember you were a little like nervous to go. Or was that the one that you DM'd? I don't know which one was which, but I remember hearing a little bit about this, but continue.
Yeah, and so then first couple sessions we're just having a really good time, and then I find out that we all find out that Hermes works for a streamer, you, and and it's like, oh, that's cool. Who's a streamer? It's like, oh, it's like, it was back when you were Captain Rockhab. It's like, Captain Rockhab, and I thought, oh, okay, cool. I'll have to look him up. And then I looked you up, and I thought, okay, cool. I mean, if I follow and subscribe you, I'm supporting my friend by
proxy, right? Yeah.
Yeah, by proxy. It's like, oh, I'll go and subscribe, and here I am 2 years later.
That's true.
And,
I don't know if you know this, but I remember, I don't remember when this was in the process, but I remember specifically getting a Snapchat from Hermes being like, all of us are watching your highlight videos. And I'm like, what? He's like, I got all the D&D people and we're all watching the highlight videos. I was like, oh no, like, I hope they like it.
It was good. It was good. And I mean, yeah, here I am 3 years later, and here we are, and here our D&D group is 3 years later. We're still going.
And now I know like half of them by proxy. I know you, I know Hermes, I know Kristen, and then like I know of Jackson. I don't think I've met Jackson, but like I know of Jackson.
You have we have played Valorant together with Jackson. That was a sub Sunday that he was gifted a sub, and we were all playing.
Interesting. Okay, so I have met Jackson. Oh, I do think I remember a little bit of this actually. I had forgotten that, but I believe you're correct. So yeah, that like just weird how the world works, I guess.
Yep.
And also fucking go D&D. We stand D&D. And that also other TTRPGs. You can call Cthulhu as welcome too, I guess. I've been chatting a few times. The Great Ginge. Oh, I remember. Yes, I know the Great Ginge. I didn't know that was a person that, like, I had like a transitive connection to, if that makes sense. But I do recognize the username.
I guess it should have introduced him as Ginge instead.
I mean, that would have been it. I think it's been, I recognize the name. I wouldn't have been able to attach it to anything. So no worries. But yeah, I'll be honest. I did not realize it's been 2 years. Like when I was like, oh, like you've been in the community a good while. I didn't realize it was 2 years. And like part of that, I think is just the fact that like, ironically, you started your story in late 2018. In late 2018, I was starting streaming. So like, if that gives you a span of comparison, oh boy, yeah. So like, admittedly, part of it might just be the fact that at this point I'm an old fogey and it's all blurred together. But yes, Charge, you feel free to ask questions. Also, anyone in chat, if you would like, this is a great opportunity to get to know Ghostly. If you do have questions for Ghostly, feel free to throw them in. We'll pepper them in as we go. Otherwise, we'll chat all night. But feel free to throw in questions. What's your favorite D&D class?
What's my favorite D&D class? Yes. Okay. So
It seems like you might be a little excited for this question, just a little bit.
I was like, man, earlier I was thinking, man, I wonder what people are going to ask me once they find out what I play D&D. They're probably going to ask, oh, what's my favorite D&D class? It's like, yes, the first question. Let's go.
Prepared.
So I was prepared for this. So actually, my favorite D&D class is actually we'll get to that later. For Charchu's question first. My favorite D&D class, I have to say, is Fighter, because it's
really.
It is the first it's the first class I ever played. It's actually a very versatile class.
Oh, it is. I mean, that's the whole thing. It's versatility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's also just so easy to multi-class into other classes with it. Because my first fighter, he was a champion fighter, and later I multi-classed him into a paladin multi-class, and then my next character. The next fighter I was an arcane archer, and I thought, because I wanted to go against the trope of fighters are melee only, and I wanted to play that range fighter, which arcane archer is not that good. I mean,
most of the battle maneuvers are not super useful for ranged. If you want to do ranged, I feel like you tend to lean more like rangery.
Mm-hmm. And I would say that one of the only really super effective arcane archer abilities is the the restricting shot. It's the one that
restraining or whatever. Yeah,
that one's really good because they have to burn their action economy to break out of it, and they can't do anything else that whole turn, and if they do try to move to attack, they're taking a lot of damage as they move.
Well, I actually think, I'm not 100% on this, but I think Arcane Archer got a rework in the new rule set to be better balanced.
I do have access to the new rule book, so I will have to read through that double check.
I'll take it. Well, you keep talking. I'll check. But they redid a couple classes to try and balance them better. I think Arcane Archer was one of them.
Yeah, I remember hearing about one of the reworks they wanted to do for warlocks that I thought would make them extremely useless, and I don't think they went forward with that. And then so the Arcane Archer is actually the character I carried over into this latest campaign, but I wanted some kind of event to happen that took away almost all of his magic. So now instead of there's a Kuja kitty.
Hello, kitty.
There's a Kuja in the background. Excuse me. So then I'm going into Battle Master with this character now, and oh my goodness, Battle Master is good and has so many different things I can do with him, and Battle Master actually feeds very nicely into Rogue, which I'm planning to multi-class into for him, and it's just fighters. All fighters are my favorite class.
It appears that they did. It was actually 2025. It's not in the rule book, but it's one of the a class that they redid. It says that primarily you gain proficiency in both Arcana and Nature instead of choosing one. And then they got rid of Magic Arrow that allowed you to infuse arrows so that they're counting as magical for the purpose of attack.
Oh, really?
But instead, they made Arcane Shot that you get at level 3 work with any weapon that uses ammunition. So you can use pistols, blowguns, slings, anything as Arcane Archer. And they basically made it that it's almost like a fighter die, that it increases in damage and size as you level up. And they changed it from like banishing arrow to banishing shot so that you can use it more more flexibly, I guess. And then they made one of the features that was available at like level 15 available at like level 7. And then they added more features higher up. So they
is that curving arrow? That curving shot?
They have Ever Ready Shot was level 15 and is now at level 7.
Ever Ready. Okay, that is actually a huge buff. That is huge because when in the 2014 rule book, Arcane Archer only had two arcane shots.
Mhm.
And so the fact that they moved that from 15 to 7 means that once you burn through both of those, once you get to level 7, every fight it's like, okay, I'm ready to roll. We're ready to roll. I got one shot.
And curving shot is still at level 7, and then they added a 10, a 15, and an 18 feature that are called improved shots, powerful shots, and masterful shots individually.
Okay.
But it doesn't. I'd have to look to see what specifically they do. But it's just that your shot damage gets higher at each of those. So it goes from a D6 to a D8, D8 to a D10, D10 to a D12.
See, I don't think they had that in the original rulebook. I think it was, I don't think it was.
Yeah, well, they didn't have the die at all.
damage.
This is it's basically it's meant to be to more directly parallel the other fighter die, I think. But you still have a bunch of arcane shot options, and then it looks like you have a couple of like, they buffed the arcane archer lore like setup stuff a little bit. So it doesn't seem like too drastically different. It's just a more powerful version to make it a little bit more balanced.
Which, Arcane Archer badly needed.
Yeah, there's a number of those I think that they've addressed pretty well. I've seen mostly good things about all of the rebalances. But then I guess it's time for Hermes' question of what's the best D&D class?
And why is it monk?
If you agree with that, it's monk. It's what you think the best one is, not your favorite.
In my opinion, the best D&D class, I would have to say, is I'm actually playing it in another campaign, is Bard. I have to say that Bard is the best D&D class. I'm sorry, Hermes, I disagree with you on Monk, but I have to say Bard is the best D&D class because they're good. They're good. They're halfway decent at almost everything, but they have such a different place. They have such a different play style. Like they're more supportive and. Yeah, they're much more of a support role and not super big on damage. You can obviously do damage depending with certain spells, but sure, Hermes, sure. We'll see about that.
I think the biggest issue with bards is you just have to make sure that people remember to use your freaking inspiration dice, dude.
Yes, your
bardic inspiration. You need it's so at least in person you have the benefit of like literally putting a dice on their sheet and being like, use this. But like, oh my god, people forget them all the time. But continue. I'm sorry I interrupted.
Yeah. And I'd have to say that my favorite subclass for the bards is actually the School of Eloquence, because the School of Eloquence, with the School of Eloquence, once you hit level 3, any kind of charisma check that you make, like deception or persuasion, I don't think intimidation is included in that, but any persuasion or deception check, if you roll a 9 or below, you treat it as a 10.
That's true. It's basically jack of all trades for
but that's specific for the School of Eloquence.
Jack of all trades. I don't remember what the skill for rogues is.
It's the reliable talent, I think.
I think so. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, but it is only for persuasion and deception checks.
Correct. That's correct.
Another thing that the eloquence bards get is they can use their bardic inspirations in another way of applying it to enemies, but making it so that way that when they roll it, they subtract whatever
from the saving throw. That's sick, actually.
Yeah, and I'm planning on multiclassing my current character to be eloquence bard and phantom rogue, because I wanted to be my concept that I told Hermes with this character is that I wanted to be the biggest gaslighter ever. And I wanted to be huge debuffer for enemies, and Yeah, that's pretty much the whole deal I wanted with this character.
I will say I'm even going to highlight beyond the unsettling words, which is the one that you highlighted that does the subtraction from saving throws. The level 6 feature is insane. They get 2, and one of them is basically that you get tongues for free essentially once a day. That you something gets to understand you for an hour. But the crazy one is that when a creature adds one of your bardic inspiration dice to its ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, and the roll fails, they get to keep the bardic inspiration die. So if it messes up, they just get to do it again later, which is that's so crazy. It's like, oh no, like you have it until you succeed with it. It doesn't go away.
Yep, it sticks around. It sticks around. You ain't getting rid of me, it says.
Yeah, that's really cool. Honestly, it's funny because like I think Eloquence is an amazing college. I think I'm a big fan of Bards. Bards was the first class I ever played. It's one of my favorites. One that I think gets not enough credit. I don't know if I would say it's my favorite personally, but I do know that another class or college that I don't think gets enough credit is the College of Glamour, dude. The College of Glamour is an insane bard class. It's so crazy. You get to charm all sorts of stuff and just draw all sorts of attention. Very, very good. Yeah. Highly recommend. Jade said, what got you into D&D in the first place?
Okay, so another fun ghostly lore. I'm a bit of a math guy. I was really good at math growing up. My dad is an accountant, so it kind of helps. So I was always looking for ways to just do more math in my head. I remember I was following this. I was a big fan of Rooster Teeth. Yep. And they eventually had a show come up where they played D&D called Heroes and Halfwits. And I remember my brother and I watching this and thinking, "Oh, this is actually kind of cool. What is Dungeons and Dragons? We should look into that." And we were talking about it with our dad, and we found out that my dad played Dungeons and Dragons when he was a kid, and he said he would tell us, "Oh yeah, my buddies and I would get together and we just roll dice and have a good time, fight monsters, lose characters, and all this." And we're just
back
like,
when
well,
they were character grinders.
Yeah, and we're just like, why didn't you tell us that you played D&D? Oh, your mom wouldn't have liked it. My mom was very much not. It was very when we were younger. My mom was very against us seeing anything that had like magic involved. Which I mean, I come from a religious family, so I kind of understand that. I know that she was protecting us from. She's protecting us from that because she didn't want us to think that magic was real and actually start going into that. And but when we talked about it with her, eventually she understood that we know the difference between fantasy and reality, and we eventually I managed to get a hold of I couldn't watch Harry Potter either. Fun fact.
I think I've told this story before, but there was a woman. So my family's a big Harry Potter family. Because it became a thing where my mom read it to my sister and I growing up. Starting when I was like 6, and then she would read us before bed different like chapters from the book, and we would read through, and then when the movies came out she would take us out of school and we'd go see the movies as like the premiere. But the way that we even found out about it and the way that she got into it, my mom is very anti-book banning. My mom is very like free literature, and this woman that was a conservative Christian woman was going around town when I was like 5 or 6 trying to get people to sign a petition to ban Harry Potter from the local schools because it had magic and witchcraft and it was dangerous and whatever. And my mom was like, "Oh, well, I haven't heard about this book. Why don't you tell me about it?" And the woman like described like, oh, it's these children that go to a school of witchcraft and wizardry and they learn about magic and all this stuff. My mom goes, okay, that's very interesting. I'll be sure to check it out, and slammed the door in her face. And then she like, to be fair, my mom's not one to not do her research. She like went and bought the book and read it to see if it was harmful or whatever. And then she was like, this book's great. And so she started reading it to us.
Dude, the whole thing with Harry Potter is that they're learning how to do magic in a responsible manner. They're learning how to be responsible with magic
and fight evil.
Yeah, exactly. It's like exactly. And it's not like evil witchcraft. It's not like sacrifice.
I will go far to say, I wouldn't say necessarily ethically, considering the amount of stuff that children are able to get away with at this school. I don't think that they're very well supervised. But I think that's more of an issue of the author than it is of the story itself. But yes, I think that like I think it's kind of grouped in with like Doom. Of like a lot of parents were like, oh my god, like Doom's satanic. And it's like, it's literally made by like a really Christian man, and the whole thing is that you're fighting demons from hell to send them back to hell.
It is the most Christian game out there.
Yes, it's just Christian with heavy metal. That's all it is. You are literally fighting demons. You're crusading. It is a crusading game. But anyway, I'm sorry, we got off topic. So your mom gave you permission to play D&D.
Well, my mom gave us permission to kind of get to do more research into it, to look into it further, and then eventually the situation at Rooster Teeth happens with certain individuals, and I stop watching Rooster Teeth altogether. My brother and I both do. It's like, so we're looking for other avenues to just kind of explore this. And I eventually
out of curiosity, is this the JonTron thing? I don't know enough. I don't know a lot about Rooster Teeth, so I'm not aware of what the thing is that you're referring to.
If I'm referring to an individual that was once a part of Achievement Hunter.
Oh, then I don't know anything about that, but okay. I presume it was problematic. So continue.
It was very, very problematic. So because of that, I know that the rest of Achievement Hunter were good people, but it's like that put a sour taste in my mouth with them. So I started looking for content elsewhere to consume, and then eventually I stumbled upon a little animation made of a very popular D&D podcast.
I'm sorry. I know of Rooster Teeth, but most of what I know of Rooster Teeth is like Red versus Blue era Rooster Teeth, and Achievement Hunter is just something that I never engaged with. Like, obviously, I'm familiar with Achievement Hunter as a concept, and like as a series, but I could not tell you who was in Achievement Hunter or anything about any controversy that happened there. I know of a number of internet controversies in, not in absentia, kind of like in isolation of like. I know about JonTron, and I know JonTron was associated with Game Drumps for a while, but I don't know what JonTron did after that. I know that there's a number of YouTubers who are associated with certain controversies, but I don't know what programs they were attached to. So there's a world in which maybe I know of this thing, but not attached to Achievement Hunter or Rooster Teeth. But at least from this method of introduction, I don't have those connected dots, so I apologize. But continue, Ghostly.
But I stumbled upon this little animation of a very early scene of a very popular D&D podcast. You might have heard of it. It's where a bunch of nerdy ass voice actors get around a table and play Dungeons and Dragons.
I mean, out of all of them, there's like the one, and then there's all of the rest of them. So like I can assume the one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then. And eventually that little animation got me to watch the original episode itself, and actually go back to the very beginning of it. And that was around the same time when I discovered Dimension 20. And that was the
interesting.
time.
So this was pretty late in Critical Role's run, because Dimension 20 came a lot after. Also, Hansi, hello, and Blitzpup, hello.
Yeah. It was after, I think it was around the time that Campaign 1 had just wrapped up when I got into Critical Role.
Got it, okay.
Which
I think was like the beginning of Dimension 20. ish,
Mhm.
right? That was pretty
Yeah.
early.
Yeah, it was very early, and then I discovered as I'm listening to Critical Role's first campaign, I discovered Dimension 20, which has significantly shorter campaigns,
Mhm.
and
And
I get
episodes.
into and episodes, yes,
It's much
and
more
I get
easily
into
digestible.
yes, much easier, and then I get into listening to the Fantasy High,
Mhm.
and I swear, listening to Fantasy High and Brennan go on and on about with D&D. It's like I got to get the books, and so I got the starter set, and I never touched it or played it until I went to the game store. But
Oh
then
wow,
after
so
I
that
went
was
to the
your
game
first
store,
time. First time.
yeah, that was my very first time. The game store was my very very first time, and then and then a little bit after that, I actually ran a few sessions of Minds of Fandelver for
Mhm.
my brother and some of his friends, and scheduling stuff happened, and that it never went anywhere again. But
That's D&D.
that's how it is. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of how I got into D&D. Started off with Heroes and Halfwits, went to research, and then came across Critical Role and Dimension 20, and then finally played it at the game store.
Hell yeah. Well, we do have one question from a little ways back up that I'll grab, but also just real quick, Hansi and Blitz, hello. You guys joined during Random Encounter. This is our
Hello.
Random Encounter with Ghostly over here. This is a segment we do
That's me.
once a month where we get to know a member of the community. They come on stream with me and we chat about who they are in life and their interests. And so if you have any questions, this is a great opportunity to get to know Ghostly better. And if you are ever interested in being a part of Random Encounter, we have a form in the Discord that you can fill out. We randomly select people who have applied at the end of every month. And we do this segment the second Tuesday of every month. So welcome in. Feel free to ask questions and chime in. We're just chatting. And then Charge, who a little ways up, said, let me find it. What is one goal you have for the rest of 2025?
Originally, I had a goal to have my rough draft done for a project that I was working on. But I've now just changed my goal to more consistently sit down and do more writing.
Fair enough.
Even if it's just 1,000 words a week, just to sit down and try to do at least 1,000 words a week.
Well, so I know that you write. I don't know that everyone in chat knows that you write. So what type of writing do you do? What got you into it? Like, tell us about your writing.
So just to talk about what got me into it, I've always kind of been a bit of a creative kind of guy. I've always had a somewhat hyperactive mind. Like my mind is always cranking and doing something. I can be doing one thing, but my mind is in two places at once, doing on task and doing the other doing this whole other thing, and then I get sidetracked from the other thing, and it's like. I also had a lot of not dolls but action figures when I was a kid, and I would always have actually I had these really cool action figures, I would always make up these stories with them, and then I discovered a couple of books that I really enjoyed. Really enjoyed. One of them being Suzanne Collins' older books, the Gregor the Overlander series.
Okay.
And then I read another author's books, the Silverwings trilogy by Kenneth Opel. And it wasn't until I think my seventh. It wasn't until seventh grade when my advanced language arts teacher had gave us a writing assignment that said write something creative, make it at least 2 pages, and I may have written 9 instead.
Okay.
And that's when I realized, oh, this is kind of fun. I want to do more of this, and then flash. So that's when I really start to get into it. Flash forward a couple years into my senior year of high school. my English teacher gives us an assignment about walking a day in somebody else's shoes, and tells us, okay, give me 2 pages of something about walking a day in the shoes from this pile that you're gonna draw from. And I drew hiking boots, and I immediately was like, oh no, I can do so much with hiking boots. And the assignment was, as I said, the assignment was originally 2 pages. I think I might have told Hermes this before, but I ended up going a little over. You want to take a gander and take a guess?
Well, is this the same one that you went 9, or is this a different one?
This is new. This is senior year of high school.
Okay, 12 pages. 15
Higher.
pages.
27.
Oh my!
It was then when I realized, oh, I could do this.
Yeah.
I could do this. This is something I could do. I'm pretty sure my teacher didn't even read it. It's just like, I'm not reading this junk, and gave me an A.
You wrote plenty. I scanned through. It's all appropriate. Sure.
Mm-hmm, yeah. And yeah, that's really when I started realizing, oh, maybe this is something that I could actually do, because I had a blast writing that.
So what do you write now? What's the project you're working on, if you're comfortable sharing?
So I am the current project that I am trying to focus on. The current project I'm trying to focus on is kind of an epic it's an epic fantasy story. It's an epic fantasy. Takes place obviously in a fantasy world with magic and stuff. But I don't want to say too much about it, but it's following. I'm a sucker for old tropes, and like a noble son who is actually inept with magic, has no magic ability. It was very appealing to me, and in fact is kind of the inspiration, and it's actually kind of inspired by one of my current D&D characters.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And that I'm playing in my campaign. And so I decided to write a story about how he actually, while he doesn't have magic, he has some other gift that was bestowed to him by a higher power that has been forgotten, so he has to learn how to use this himself.
Okay.
Like he has to teach himself how to use it. And it's very it's very dangerous for him to use too. That's all I really want to say about it, because I mean, stuff is prone to change. So
no worries. Work in progress. Still interesting.
Yep, work in progress.
Let's see.
I thought I saw another question pop up.
I'm looking. Well, there was do you want to touch more on the progress, and how much do you have written so far in length is a question.
I
obviously work in progress, so it's probably fluctuated a little bit, right?
Yeah, it's fluctuated. I've gone from having a full outline to scrapping that outline, making a new outline, to scrapping that, making a bit of a skeleton of an outline, sticking with that, which I'm still sticking with that, and then I've gone to having the first couple scenes written for introducing the one of the main point of view characters, and then getting into the introductory scenes for the second point of view character, scrapping that, rewriting that, scrapping that, rewriting it again, and looking back and thinking maybe I should rewrite this because I think I'm trying to do too much with the first point of view character, and I need to remind myself that I don't have to make it perfect now. I just need to get it made now. Make it first, and I can go back and edit it later.
That's fair.
So to answer your question, I am only about maybe 5-6 scenes in, which is not a lot.
No worries. So 2 book questions for you, because you mentioned Suzanne Collins.
Yes.
I presume you've
Yes.
read Hunger Games.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I was like, you mentioned Suzanne Collins. I'm like, I know that name, but then when you mentioned Gregor, I was like, I don't know that one. And then I was like, oh, she wrote Hunger Games, of course. But then second, out of curiosity, just based off of your concept, I need to look up the author. But have you read the Outcast series?
Outcast
series books. Let me look up the.
I bet it's one.
Actually have to look up it's by Christopher Golden. It's
The name sounds familiar.
I would recommend it based off of your concept. It might be interesting for you. I haven't read the whole series. I remember reading the beginning when I was a teenager. I also can't necessarily say if they're good because I only read the beginnings. But the concept of the Outcast series, and the first book is called The Unmagician, is essentially the entire society is built around magic and lanterns and travel and all this stuff is magic is a common occurrence and is the driving force of society in the same way that like electricity or industrialism would be. And similar to your concept, there is a character who is unable to wield magic, but not only are they unable to wield magic, they actually cancel out magic within their vicinity. And it's like this very strange phenomena. And the whole story centers around how that all plays out. And I don't remember if there's a prophecy or what the like grander purpose of the series is, because this was a very long time ago. But just when you were describing it, that rang some bells of familiarity for me of like, that's something that you should check out to kind of maybe pull inspiration or pull pull things that you want to avoid, whatever. That sounds like something that you might want to look at.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll just add that to my reading list.
Yes,
I still have to get through. I still have to get through Hero of Ages.
Hey, I just finished that series. It's a great series.
Hey, nice. So far, what I've gotten to is really good.
He's very good. Brandon Sanderson is very good. I'm about to, now that I've gotten those 3 done, my next one on his list is Warbreaker. Because a friend of mine, if anybody watches the D&D campaign, Adam, who plays Andar and sometimes is on stream as Disaster Pandas, he's the one who got me into Sanderson after a number of people recommended it to me, but he's the one who pushed me over the edge with it. And first off, I love Adam to death. Second off, he knows exactly how to like get under my skin and manipulate me into doing something, because he goes, hey, there's a character in Warbreaker. Let me just read the text. I don't want to misquote him here. But he goes, if I can spell Warbreaker. Here it is.
Warbreaker.
He goes, so I'm reading Warbreaker right now, and there's a character in it that immediately makes me think of you. Every time I read his dialogue, your face pops up in my mind. I said, oh shit, well now I gotta check this out. And he goes, it's certainly not the character you'd think it'd be. And I go, I'm not sure if I should be honored or terrified. He goes, I guess you'll have to read it and find out. And I'm like, you son of a bitch. Oh my goodness.
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
He does. He knows exactly. Well, tell me that's not a hook. Tell me that's not exactly the thing you need to say. I'm like, there's a character that I literally picture as you, and it's not for the reasons you'd think. Guess you'll have to find out. Anyway.
Oh dang it! Now I want to use something like that with one of the more shady characters. Oh well.
Honestly, I love when you're able to like pull an idea for a character and adapt it into your own. I know one of my first D&D campaigns was in college, and my DM was very good. I was very like, out of all the DMs I've ever had, my college DM was one of my best. And he had this character that was essentially this like mysterious stranger that would just show up. And really the only identifying things about this guy that I remember are that he would show up at the most strange times. He would always show up completely like in a large hat and a large jacket and like shadowed figure. And the introduction line of his appearance would be like, hey, buddy. and he would offer you crazy, powerful, magical solutions to your problems in exchange for favors and or like items. Right? He was essentially this mysterious shopkeep that would show up at strange times when you were in need and offer you solutions, which is so sketchy, but so fun. And so I loved the concept of this character. And when I did my first homebrew campaign, I basically combined this character concept with, have you happened to seen the show Once Upon a Time?
I've seen bits and pieces of it.
I would recommend
some
it.
episodes.
It's incredibly cheesy. You have to know it's cheesy going in, but it's good cheesy most of the time. Up until about season 3, it gets very hit or miss.
Well, I mean, isn't that just like fairy tale in the real world?
That's the concept, is that it's like all of the fairy tale creatures from like Grimm's fairy tales and stuff in Disney have been cursed and transplanted from their existence into the real world, no memory of who they are. And they're like, there's a character who's tied into it, has to get them back, whatever. Very good in my opinion, as long as you're okay with cheesy, because it's very cheesy. But there is a character in it who is essentially the fairy tale version of Rumpelstiltskin, who is very vaudevillian. He's played by a popular British actor who really brought in like the commedia dell'arte, like very theatrical spin to him. And he ultimately is one of the show's villains, and he's incredible. And so I took that personality and I combined it with this magic shopkeep and made a character that essentially did the same thing. He popped up the very first time they met him. They had just gotten out of like a major fight and they're in the middle of nowhere and they're all injured. And he pops up and goes, "Hello, dearie. It looks like you might be able to use a potion or two." And they're like, "Where the hell did you come from?" And he like starts just like making potions appear on this like little, he poofs a stand into existence and like starts making potions appear, like, "What can I do you for?" You know, like, and they were like, "We love this guy. This guy's fascinating." And they buy all this stuff from him and they're like, "Why are you helping us?" He goes, "I think you might need it here soon. But anyway, good doing business with you." Poof, he's gone. And then they got ambushed. and they all get knocked out. And they were like, "We love this guy." And they fell so in love with him that then I had to make him one of the main villains of the campaign because I was like, they love this guy so much. And so I totally, it's like, you come up with great ideas when you're able to like just gain inspiration from other sources and pull and combine things from things that you like. That's one of my favorite parts about D&D too, is just the storytelling aspect.
Yes, and the storytelling you can do with your friends too is just it's incredible. And some of the stuff that happens in sessions is just incredible too. I have a moment that it came out on very first session. It came out of nowhere, but my character arm wrestles the barbarian, and me being I'm a dex build fighter, so I have a strength of 12. I'm arm wrestling the barbarian who's got a strength of like 18. So stuff happens. So the first roll goes, I roll low, he rolls high. My arm's like, going all the way back. I pull out this line. I don't know where it came from, but it was so funny. It cracked all of us up. I just say, "I'm not mean. I'm lean. I'm not mean."
Amazing.
It was so funny in the moment.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, that's the thing, is you're all in it, and that's one of the best parts about D&D. Charlie says, "What's one of your favorite movie or movie series?"
Oh boy.
Big question.
That is a big question. Movie or movie series? I would have to say, I mean, I grew up on Star Wars, so I'd have to say Star Wars was the original trilogy. Star Wars has to be some of my favorite movies.
And they are incredible. What particular makes them your favorite? Just the fact that they're formative, or?
I mean, I like I said, I grew up with them. It's just they hold a precious memory to. They're a precious part of my childhood that I just remember going home wanting to watch Star Wars from after school and all that. That it's it's just. It's a classic story of good coming up and fighting the evil and eventually prevailing. Fun fact, when I was a kid, episode 5 used to be my least favorite Star Wars movie, but now that I am older and after having watched the original trilogy again, episode 5 is probably my favorite Star Wars movie.
Well, that's the difference between like youth and adult, right? Is the fact that as a kid, 5, not a lot happens that's like exciting from a kid's perspective, but it's one of the more nuanced ones as an adult.
Yeah, because I mean, especially with Luke, that cave scene with Luke scared the crap out of me. Because it's just because there's just a loud noise at the end, and there's Luke's face. Like, oh my goodness, did Luke actually die? It's like, no, that's showing what's going to happen if Luke goes down the path that he's trying to go down. He's trying to force himself to go down. I mean, and it's just it's.
Go ahead.
It's just like I don't know. It's just good. In my opinion, that was just really good storytelling when I was younger. Looking back at it, it's just really good storytelling for a character, and good kind of also a good way to link Luke to a certain Darth Lord.
Yeah, the big reveal of number 5. The foreshadowing.
Spoilers.
Spoilers for a near 50-year-old movie at this point. Hold on, is it 50? It's got to be close.
Oh gosh.
Star Wars Episode 5 was released in 1980. It's 5 years from being 30 years old. When did 4 come out? 4 came out in 1977, so we're 2 years away from the 50th anniversary of Episode 4, which I guarantee you Disney will be all over trying to monetize.
Oh, absolutely.
Star Wars Day in 2 years and 5 years will be crazy. Oh yes, I mean, Star Wars is formative. Star Wars is, I think, probably most people's first introduction to sci-fi.
I would say that. I mean, I think I would classify Star Wars as more space opera than sci-fi. It's definitely more fantasy than sci-fi, because it's like, oh, this does that. Why? Because.
Yeah. It's a sci-fi setting with fantasy mechanics. All of the actual story and drama and like rule sets are very fantasy, but the setting, of course, is the sci-fi aspect of like, oh, we're in space and we've got planets and aliens and all the stuff that like normally is associated with sci-fi. But I definitely see where you're coming from. I think honestly that's one of the things that made it so popular, is the fact that it was versatile, right? You had fantasy mechanics, you had sci-fi setting, and then you ultimately had the story and drama of a soap opera. Like, it's at the end of the day,
pretty much.
At the end of the day, Star Wars is a family drama. It's like, oh well, like your dad, you like Obi-Wan adopted an orphan, and that orphan married this woman, and then they had twins, but the mom died, and now the lost kid has come back and doesn't know it's his dad, and it's very soap opera.
Yeah.
And he kisses his sister, and it's gonna be this big reveal. But then later, it turns out it's his sister, and they knew all along.
Oh boy, yeah. That I remember when I finally understood what happened there. It's like, oh.
That's the one that everyone's like, oh, why? What was the purpose of that? Oh, and the Ewoks. Funny story about the Ewoks. I just read this recently, but apparently because the Ewoks back then were actually cast as like people with dwarfism and like stunted growth, like health conditions and stuff. They were in these full costumes, and apparently This is allegedly, I don't know this for sure, obviously, but I read that they were all just like high all the time. They were all just getting high together in the Ewok costumes, and that's why part of why the Ewok behavior is so like kind of strange and erratic is that all of them were just getting high. Because apparently, like, I've actually, this is kind of a strange through line of, for people who suffer from those conditions, they were hired for very specific type of roles and gigs in Hollywood for a long time, and they weren't necessarily treated equally. And so a lot of them dealt with it through either like drinking or drugs or whatever. And like, I know one of the more famous stories that Disney kind of covers up, but you can look up, is like when Pinocchio was released. They, or maybe it was Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, either Pinocchio or Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, I don't remember. They did a premiere with like one of those theaters that had the big, the big shiny lights, and they have all the letters on the outside, like the promenade signs out front of the theater, and they had the little roof on top. And they hired these little people to dress up in costume and be on top of the roof and like wave at people and whatever as they came in, but they only left them with wine and snacks up top. And it was like incredibly hot, and so they all got incredibly drunk, and then they ended up like stripping, and they had to be like removed from the roof because they were like cursing people out naked on top of this theater, and Disney had to like cover it up as a whole thing because they weren't treated well, and they were like they weren't given basic supplies. But apparently the Ewoks were definitely in that same camp. They all just got high and were like wandering around the forest.
Oh wow.
Allegedly. I don't know. I read this recently. I cannot confirm if true, but this is what I've read. So next time you watch, next time you see the Ewoks in Star Wars,
I'll never look at them the same.
Well, we have been chatting for about an hour 10. Is there any topics that you want to hit on before we start kind of winding this down? Anything that you want to share with the community that you haven't had the chance to share yet? Anything you'd like to highlight?
Oh boy.
And while you think, I'll put out to chat, anybody who would like to ask any questions, here's a great opportunity to get a few questions in before we start to look at winding down. We've got probably 20 more minutes of the segment, depending on the amount of topics we have left. So feel free to chime in if you have any questions for Ghostly. We do also have a stretch break coming up in about 40 seconds. So just a heads up on that. Charge, you asked about your favorite family memory.
One of my favorite family memories, it was a winter. My grandparents have a house that there are a lot of hills around, and especially in their backyard. I think Hermes might have been there. No, maybe not. No. Because fun fact, Hermes actually knows some of my cousins too, and so I don't know if he was there. He might not have been. He might have never been there. But my grandparents have this big house that have a bunch of hills. So whenever it snows, we like to go sledding on those hills. I'd have to say that my favorite memory was one winter. I'm sledding with one of my younger cousins. I noticed that as we're sledding down, we're heading towards a pile of sticks that's like jutting out at us. Like if we hit them at the speed we're going, danger. So I see that my younger cousin is behind me. I shift to try to get us to spin away from it. And when I do so, I accidentally slam my cousin's face into the snow. And we're going for a good probably 20 feet with his face being dragged in the snow. And when we finally stop, I get up and was like, dude, are you okay? Are you okay? He sits right up, looks me dead in the face. That was awesome.
Amazing. How old was he at this time?
I want to say maybe 10.
Okay. That tracks.
8 to 10, somewhere around there.
Well,
it was.
Go ahead.
Yeah. That was a really good memory. I don't know if he remembers that, but it just sticks. That one sticks with me.
Might have lost it with the head trauma. You know, you never know.
Yeah, maybe.
So with Chargie's question answered, was there anything that you wanted to share? Anything that you want to highlight?
I would say that since I've been exposed to D&D, I've become very interested in other tabletop RPGs, and I've actually run a session for my brother, his wife, and my sister of Call of Cthulhu. I've also run for some of our D&D group. I've run the Alien RPG system, and that's really cool. And I've also just been kind of exploring other systems. I don't know if I shared it in this Discord, but I did get the Mothership rule set.
Okay.
Which is basically Call of Cthulhu but space.
Yeah. Space cosmic horror.
Yes. And there's actually another I actually found another tabletop RPG on Kickstarter that is that's sci-fi as well, but it's more but it's kind of, it's got that Star Wars elements, where there's some magic. There's actually psionics in it too, and it's all but it's all takes place in the solar system, but Earth is gone.
Oh, interesting.
Like,
okay.
Well, so it's not that Earth is gone. It's just that Earth there were these terrible cataclysmic events that made Earth uninhabitable by humans.
Yeah.
And it's coming out later this year. It's called Astra Arcanum, and I'm very excited. I'm very excited to try it out. It's like D&D. It's a D20 system, but it's very different, and it's just, I've loved being able to kind of dip my toes into other types of systems. So in the upcoming months, I may even start just talking random stuff about the Astra Arcanum. It's like, oh hey, with this system, this thing is cool. I'm a nerd about that stuff. So
that's one thing that I've wanted to get more into, because I've only played. I started in Pathfinder, but it was before 2E. I started in Pathfinder 1E. And I actually ran my homebrew in Pathfinder 1E for about 8 levels, and then it got way too much to manage combat-wise. And so I ended up switching to D&D 5E, having had some experience as a player with it after that first campaign. But those are the only 2 systems I've played personally. I really want to try some of the other systems and like find out more. And I also want to check out Pathfinder 2E, because there are some things I love about Pathfinder. Pathfinder is so customizable in terms of pretty much anything that you want to do. They have a rule set for in Pathfinder. It's just the problem of managing all of those things. Whereas like D&D on the flip side allows you more freedom of like adapting things and like flavoring things specific ways. But like... For example, my first character concept, the very first character I ever built, I really wanted essentially a Blade Singer like Yoda. I wanted like a Yoda bard that like used sword dancing as his performance, and I wanted him to be a shadow dancer. I wanted him to be able to jump in shadows and appear in other places, and essentially have this blade singing shadow bard. Was my concept. Not a thing in D&D at all, but in Pathfinder they actually had like a subclass that was available for it, at least at the time. Now it's
now you got the Shadow Monk, and you do have the Blade Singer.
Correct. And so like there are ways to tweak it, but even then it's not like a specific class. And like in Pathfinder there was a specific like Shadow Dancer class. And I love that type of stuff, of like the amount of customization in Pathfinder, I think, of with like actually established classes and rules and features is a lot broader, but it gets a lot more weighed down combat wise, of like, you have 3 different ACs. You have a touch AC, you have a flat-footed AC, and you have your regular AC, all of which are different, and all of which you have to keep track of, because different attacks, like if you manage to hit a like regular attack will touch your regular AC, but if you're trying to do like a touch spell, like a melee spell, you ignore their armor class and you do their touch AC, because it's how dexterous they are, not what type of armor they're wearing. And if you catch somebody by surprise, that's their flat-footed AC, because that's their armor but not their dexterity. Like, you get all these different modifiers, and like it starts to become very hefty. You're tracking up to like 8 to 9 numbers of every every creature on the board, and it becomes very heavy very quickly. I've heard that 2E helps with that.
Okay. That's
I
good.
don't know for sure. But that's like one of the things I want to look into. So I get what you mean in terms of like I hope to explore more systems as time goes on. Jackie did ask, what is your favorite thing about, I'm not going to say my community because it's not my community, it's our community, but what is the favorite thing about the community at large?
The favorite thing about the community, I would say, has just I would say it's been the people that I've been able to meet. Like, everybody is great here. Ryan, you're awesome. Hermes is awesome. Death is awesome. Blind Jim, T Money, Rose, Jade, just so many people is awesome.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, it's
No pun intended. Continue.
and just so many people. It's great to be able. It was great to have been able to come into the community, and when I finally got over my anxiety of hopping into the speakeasy with people that I didn't know. It's like it's great. I can chill out with people. I can chill out with like Charchu, Jackie, Rose, and Blind Jim, and just have a good time, just hanging out. And I love being able to. Yeah, the people are my favorite part of this community, and I'm very happy to have been able to join.
Hell yeah. Well, we're glad you're here and you fit right in. So we appreciate it. But honestly, I think that's a good place to segue out. Thank you so much for joining today, Ghostly. It was wonderful to get to know you a little bit better in chat. I hope that you had
Yeah, it was
fun.
awesome. Oh yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, I will let you get back to your evening. Thank you so much for being a part of it. And like I said, anybody, if you do have any questions for Ghostly, obviously is available in the Discord, so you can ask him directly there. Or if you are interested in being a part of Random Encounter, we do this once a month, and you can fill out the form in the Discord to potentially be a guest. But Ghostly, thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was a real pleasure, and I had a lot of fun.
The pleasure is mine, sir. Have a good rest of your evening. I'll talk to you soon.
Good night, friends. Bye-bye.
All right. Let me put on the music again. If anybody wants to do song request is once again live. And let me put us back in just chatting. As always, Ghostly, thank you so much for joining. That was a very pleasant chat. I always love getting to know members of the community better. I think we're back in business. We got about an hour left to stream. We'll probably just hang out, honestly, listen to music, chat. I don't really have any specific plans. It'd be super fun to chat. Would Random Encounter again. Let's go. But yeah, definitely, if anyone is interested in Random Encounter, anyone can apply. It is available in the Discord. The channel is Encounter Entry, and it's a Google form. It takes like 2 minutes to fill out. Very, very easy. And then we randomly draw from everyone who's applied at the end of the month. So that's fair to everyone. And so the next Random Encounter will be September 9th-ish. Presuming that the person, whoever's chosen, is available, and that I don't have any conflicts for like work or anything. So that is the plan. Hell yeah, that's what this place is for. Like, this whole community is just for cool people to meet other cool people who all care about each other and this place and have common interests, and everyone can like get away from any crazy stuff that's happening in their life and feel like they can have fun and share common interests and do stuff together. That's the whole reason we do this. So I'm very glad to hear that. Castlevania. I need to hop up and get some sleep. Absolutely, I totally understand. Thank you so much. Get some rest. Amazing encounter indeed. I agree. I agree. So music is available. If anyone wants to request tunes, you can. Otherwise, we're just hanging out, guys. We're vibing. How's everyone's week going? What's new? How's life? Tell me about what's going on with everybody. Anyone have anything that they'd like to share that's going on in their life? I did oh, I haven't told you guys about Lord of the Rings. I watched all the Lord of the Rings over the weekend. I've finally seen all of the Lord of the Rings. We watched the entire series front to back. Extended editions. With the exception of the second movie, we technically watched the theatrical trailer, and then we watched the extended scenes after, because the couple that I watched it with, Marcus Blarkus and Rachel, his wife, Marcus is a very opinionated individual, and he was like, the extended edition of the second movie actually ruins the pacing, and so we're going to watch the theatrical one first, and we'll watch the extended scenes after. And for the most part, I agree with him. I think there's one scene that really does add to the second movie, but most of the extended scenes from the second movie, definitely I can see how they're more like frivolous. They're not necessarily important to the movie as a whole, but I'd never seen them. I knew a decent amount about Lord of the Rings, obviously, as a concept, because I am a nerd, and I've hung out with nerds and people who love Lord of the Rings, and I've seen a bunch of references and memes and stuff. And so there were pieces of it that I knew, but I didn't know how certain things happened or when they happened. And so it's really cool to watch them all. They're incredible. They're very, very good. I had no complaints. I enjoyed them. I actually don't think I've ever watched the theatrical versions of any of them. I will say the second one I think is better theatrical. I do think I agree, with the exception of, I think there's one scene. Here's the thing. I think the through line of the extended scenes in general was that most of, 80% of the extended scenes were good. They were good scenes. And a lot of them had good character development. The through line, I think, is that most of the character development and extra stuff that's in those scenes isn't necessarily vital or necessary to the main plot. And so I see why they cut them, with a couple of exceptions that I think could have been in there that I think were good, that they clearly just had to make cuts because the movies were long. But I do think out of all three, that the extended scenes from the second movie are the ones that tend to be kind of take them or leave them. There's a lot of stuff that isn't really necessary for the story, with the exception of, I think, the Boromir flashback. But even then, most of that information is repeat information that they say at other points in the movies. And it also kind of, I shouldn't say foreshadows, it kind of pre-sets you up for the fact that, is it Denethor? Is that his name? King Denethor? Is not a great king and is pretty inept, or I guess a steward is inept in his rule. And in a way, it's almost better that you kind of figure that out in the moment when all of it actually comes to a head in the third movie, I think. But that's my opinion. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very, very good. And I think the craziest thing was I knew that Lord of the Rings was a formative fantasy text. I knew that pretty much D&D and a bunch of other fantasy stuff pulls directly from Lord of the Rings as a main source of inspiration, and that it kind of established a lot of the mainstay tropes and rules of fantasy. I don't think I realized to what degree it set those things up until I watched it. I would go as far as to say is it basically founded modern fantasy, which I didn't necessarily appreciate before. I knew that it was hugely influential. I didn't realize that it was essentially vitally influential, near impossible to exist without influential. I was very impressed. It was also crazy to watch as a D&D nerd and literally witness things like, that's a D&D item, that's a D&D spell, this is that is this. And just draw those parallels at different moments of or even Harry Potter, right? Shelob, Aragog does not exist without Shelob. Aragog is direct inspiration, would not exist, right? Those type of concepts were things that I hadn't really grasped. So that alone was fascinating. I very much enjoyed it. At some point, I want to watch the theatrical cuts of 1 and 3 to see if I notice anything blatantly missing. I know, like, obviously I there were some scenes that I was able to like because I know they're extended, I know they won't be there, but I'm curious if I watch it back to see like if I missed them, I guess. If I feel like they matter, that the movie is lesser without them or whatever. But yeah, we had a whole thing. They had a whole spread. We had snacks. We did a sleepover Friday into Saturday, like, journey. We went over Friday night. We watched Fellowship Extended Friday night. We stayed overnight, and then we watched both the extended, or I guess technically the theatrical and the extended scenes from Two Towers in the morning of Saturday. And then we watched the extended version of Return of the King Saturday afternoon. They had a whole spread. She made lembas bread, like lemon cookies that were bomb. It was a whole thing. They were delicious. Also, T-Money, hello. How are you? Good evening, sir. Yeah, real quick, I'm going to open the window. I'll put it on overhead for just half a second. Good to stretch my legs, too. I'm exhausted. Why is that? Long day? Tell us about it. We actually streamed them. They're all on HBO Max. Both the originals and the extendeds. The song came out last Friday. Late nights, long days. I'm sorry. Is it all work related, or are you like late nights being more like, I guess, is it work related, family related, or is it by choice? Is I guess what it breaks down to is options, right? Yes, fair. Fair enough. Song request is on if anyone wants to request music, so you can. Songs are available, and this time they won't show up in the VOD. How's Random Encounter? Sorry I missed it. No worries at all. It was awesome. We got to know Ghostly a little bit. We talked about how he found the community, how he met Hermes and Kristen. We talked about a lot of D&D. We talked about writing. We talked about Star Wars. A lot of nerd stuff. We talked about his job and math and his family. So it was a nice good time. Good vibes all around. He did crash and go to bed. It was a nice long chat. He's a good lad, that one. And again, just as a reiteration for anyone who is interested, Random Encounter is available to everyone. All you have to do is fill out the form in the Discord. We select a new candidate every month. So if you are interested, all you have to do is go fill out the form there, and then from there we will draw a new name every month. The next one will be mid-September. The form takes like 2 minutes to fill out. Also, I just got a little birdie in my ear. Movie nights are getting restarted. We're getting some regular movie nights on the book. We're actually moving from a monthly movie night to a bi-weekly movie night, courtesy of the lovely mod Jade, our lovely friend Jade. She is going to be hosting most of the movie nights. People are still absolutely welcome to host movie nights as well and like chime in. Jade doesn't have to host all of them. If you have a movie night that you would like to host in the Discord, you absolutely can. We have a whole thread in what channel is it? In the Cinema Center that gives you a whole guide on if you would like to organize a movie night, how to do it, how to go about it, how to make sure that people are aware of it. And feel free, if you would like, to coordinate with Jade, and if you want to do it on a night that Jade would have these scheduled movie nights, I'm sure that Jade would be happy to share some of those nights as well. So that is open to everyone. But Jade is now organizing some regular ones on a more regular basis. And she is wondering if there's any requests for movies that people would like to see soon in the Discord. So if you have any movies that you are interested in, feel free to either drop them in chat or you can ping them to Jade, either in the Discord in Cinema Center, if you want to DM her, whatever you'd like to do. And she can make collect a little pool of interest and suggestions and mix them in for upcoming movie nights. So maybe ones that won't give me nightmares. Are you not a horror fan, Jackie? You don't like horror movies? Jade is a big horror. She's our scream queen. She's the scream queen of the Discord. All horror, some anime, and thrillers, especially mind twisters. Are your requests, T-Money? I would argue that thrillers and mind twisters fit into horror. Thriller is just a category of horror. Requests are strongly encouraged, so I don't make everyone watch horror every time. Well, considering T-Money's first requests, they can but don't need to. That's fair. There are action thrillers too, I suppose. But yes, we need horror. There can never be enough. Hell yes. I don't know if everyone was here at the beginning, but we have a new episode of the podcast coming out on Sunday featuring The Green Room and Inside. We are ending our double feature set. We had a Hex on the podcast that caused us to do a 3 set of double features. Our last double feature comes out on Sunday, and it's our third to last episode of season 1, and season 2 is going to be big. We've got a lot of big surprise. We've got big plans. I'm very, very excited about it. If you are interested in the podcast, we got big plans coming soon. Inception is a great example, not horror, but a great mindfuck. That's true. I don't know if I would count as a thriller though. I feel like it's like a cerebral drama almost. Although I guess there's like sci-fi action elements. I don't know what I would what is Inception classified at? Inception genre. An epic science fiction action heist film. That's a lot of words. Epic science fiction action heist film. I guess fair. All of those words apply. Available on our favorite podcast platforms or podcast. Ta-da! Not normal science fiction, epic science fiction. I almost feel like at this point, epic is less about the commentary on the genre and more of a commentary of scale, of like what level of budget and spectacle you expect to see. It's the opposite of like a grounded science fiction novel or novel. You know what I meant. I haven't seen Oppenheimer yet. I want to see Oppenheimer, but I haven't seen Oppenheimer yet. But Nolan's great. I've seen a lot of Nolan. Which makes sense. He's an incredibly lucrative and prolific director at this point. There was a thing, the podcast. Oh, I was going to check to see if, I actually have it as TIWID or if it's just exclamation point podcast. One fun thing I'll say is for those who do like are potentially interested in the podcast or like horror movies, we've been doing a lot more social promotion for the podcast, and I convinced the other co-hosts to do more video materials. I didn't have it that way, but I'm going to. I did. I lied. It's already set that way. And so that's been fun. We've had a lot more silly social clips of the three of us, and people get to see our faces, which they don't currently get to do on the podcast. So videos are looking amazing for the podcast. I love watching them. Thank you. Yes, I'm very excited about the Odyssey. But I'm also a Greek mythology and Roman mythology nut, so of course I'm excited for the Odyssey. I feel like that's a given. I would be a poser if I was not. So, very excited. Pretty much all of the Lord of the Rings soundtrack slaps, to be completely fair. It is just a amazing soundtrack throughout and used to great effect. I would argue that pretty much every creative element of Lord of the Rings is pretty incredible and came together in a way that is kind of a singular in nature. It is pretty difficult to achieve what Lord of the Rings achieved on so many different levels. So many different levels. Well, they're all like physical sets too. They like built all the shit. Which is crazy. And a lot of it still exists. You can visit a lot of it. I'm pretty sure that you can go stay in Hobbiton. I think that the Shire and like Hobbiton is like they left the sets and now it's like hotels. You can go like rent a hobbit hole to like stay in overnight. What do I want to go to New Zealand to see where it was filmed? Of course. Of course. Also, New Zealand is beautiful. I saw somewhere, and I told our hosts this as well, our friends who are hosting. Somewhere online, I saw a thread of somebody went and found the geographic, like, grid line coordinates of where specific shots from the movie were filmed so that you can pose for photos with the background of the movie behind you. You can like take the same angle and take a photo of you with the same rocks and stuff. A lot of the like climbing areas and stuff. So you can like take a hike and hike to this place and get a photo and like put it side by side with the movie, and it's like you and them. Which I also joked, I think, during the Two Towers specifically, of how much they filmed Orlando Bloom and Gimli and Viggo Mortensen as Aragorn. The three of them just running. Like, there had to be days of production where they just went to a field and they're like, okay, we're going to have you run from here to here. We're going to have you run from here to here. We're going to have you run from here to here. And this time, Orlando, we need you to shout out a line here. And then we're going to have you run from here to here. And then we're going to have you run from here to here. And Aragorn, I need you to call back to Gimli while you're running in this one. Like, a good third of their scenes in the movie is them just hoofing it. Which is hilarious. Also, watching Orlando Bloom run in that film is so funny. So funny. So actually, no. It is, it's Samwise Gamgee from Lord of the Rings and Bob from Stranger Things. Bilbo Baggins is a totally different character. But yes. Sean Astin plays Samwise Gamgee and Bob Newby in Stranger Things. But Samwise Gamgee is MVP. We don't mix him up with Bilbo. Bilbo's a different boy. Rip Bob. Literally, one of Sasha's favorite Stranger Things characters, Bob. Partially because she's biased, but Bob's also like one of the most normal people in Stranger Things. He's just living his life. He's just a good-hearted boy, you know? And he ends up being a hero, which is so good. His whole story is so good. I love the fact that he was like meant to be like a really small role, and then they wanted to write him into the series, and he said no, but his only request was make Bob have the hero's death he deserves. And boy, did they. Boy, did they. You ready for part 5? Absolutely. I've been ready for ages. I'm actually, you know what I'm very curious about? For all my Dead by Daylight players. I know you're out there. I know that you're listening. I am very curious to see when Stranger Things 5 comes out, whether or not they remake, whether or not they rework Demogorgon, and whether we get a skin for Vecna based off of Stranger Things or whether we have another Stranger Things activation. Because years ago, Stranger Things 4 was years ago now. Stranger Things 4 was a while ago. Wow, 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 wow. It's a knick-knack. Hey! Hey! Nick!
Wow, oh wow, oh wow.
I literally was just talking about
wow.
Dead by Daylight. I like summoned you. Also, hello, how are you? 75 months is a long ass time. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate it. I remember when Stranger Things 4 came out, there were a bunch of leaks because Stranger Things, the DVD Stranger Things pack came out between 3 and 4, I think. I don't remember when it started, but it came out a while ago. Any discussion on the DVD live stream the other day yet? I didn't see it, so I don't know anything about it, but feel free to chime in. But part 4, when it came out, I specifically remember that there were a number of leaks about Dead by Daylight, because Dead by Daylight wasn't Dead by Daylight had Stranger Things, and then the license lapsed and they removed all of the Stranger Things content and made it all general. You couldn't get Steve, you couldn't get Nancy, you couldn't get them going their apology. But clearly I'm out of the loop. What happened? But they removed all that stuff for purchase, and only people who already owned it had it. And then there was all these leaks from actual like not verified, but like trustworthy leakers, people who had been accurate on stuff in the past, saying that Stranger Things was coming back and that they were going to launch it with the release of season 4 or like during the Stranger Things day or whatever. And then like it all got shoved. There was a bunch of it that got shoved. The season got delayed. There's a bunch of issues. And then after all got moved, it vanished. We didn't hear anything about Stranger Things for a very long time. And then randomly, the Stranger Things license got renewed. And it got brought back to Dead by Daylight. And all that stuff is available again. But there were a lot of leaks associated with Vecna. And now we know that Vecna's in the game on the D&D side. And we also know that Vecna is one of the main character villains of Stranger Things. And so I'm very curious to see once we get to the end if all of those old rumors reignite associated with the release of the final season. I almost feel like a lot of it was planned and got shunted, and that why am I auto-focusing weird? Planned and got shunted, and that now they're just holding. The reason it got renewed is that it got held onto, and now they're going to associate it with the final season. That's what I think. But that's my opinion. They did a live stream with some top DVD creators and hosted a real life Hollywood celebrity. Oral. Okay. They loaded into a private match, but because of the addition of spectator slots, hackers were able to join. Oh no. How did they get the did they have like their accounts public or something? Were they able to like lock in on the accounts? Or did they show like match information that allowed people to come in? God, people suck. That sucks. They logged the IP. That sucks. So then how did the celebrity handle it? Were they just like floored? Because generally speaking, my assumption with anything gaming related with celebrities is that usually they're not going to be very familiar and they're not going to be very well armed for a gaming scenario. Oh, for sure. Wow, dude, who is in charge at behavior? Who's driving the boat over at behavior, dude? The streamers handled it really well, IMO, so I don't think Chandler was too put off. Okay, good. So was it like just really laggy? What happened to the game? Because if the spectators weren't in game, well, I'm sure Otz wasn't pleased. Otz isn't, I wouldn't describe Otz as the most flexible of appearing streamers. DDoS. So was it just crashing all the time? They weren't able to actually play? That sucks. Whole chapter was slightly disappointing with the map, so I was really excited for Chandler to play. Oh wow, so they didn't get to play at all. Yeah, that's brutal. I'm shocked they didn't fix that. Like, that seems very fixable in the moment of like, okay, you have a match, it crashes. You know the problem is the fact that you're getting all these people coming on the spectators. Just don't, like, either to your point, fill the spectator slots with people you trust, or just close the spectator slots. I feel like it's hard to think straight when you panic. That's true. But I mean, from the streamer and the celebrity point, they're just there to play. In theory, there's somebody on the back end that's like facilitating this, that's their job, right? Is to reset it and handle the technical aspect of like, okay, we know this is the cause, unless the cause wasn't clear. If it was something that they were trying to like assess, then that's one thing. But interesting. Yeah, I feel like that was somebody on. It's not like Behavior is particularly well known for handling these type of situations, but it definitely sounds like that was somebody on the back end's fault, that they just like weren't prepared. Yeah, it sounds like they were just like, here's the thing. I agree with you, T Money. That's one thing of like, I will always. I actually was chatting with, I don't remember who I was chatting with this the other day. Maybe it was Jade and Hermes or something. I was talking about how I don't understand the modern trend of, because you are anonymous online, the fact that like with the excuse of anonymity, that allows people to feel like they can behave exceptionally poorly because it can't be traced back to them. Like, I've never understood why people feel comfortable being just horrendous only because they're not associated with it, right? Like, it's an excuse to act poorly because they don't think that it'll be traced back to them. Why is that enjoyable? Why is it enjoyable to misbehave and or like be aggressive or offensive or transgressive or hateful? Why does that bring joy to people? I don't understand that concept. I think it's a really prevalent issue right now with just the anonymity of online behavior. And so I do agree with that point. But also, like, as an employee, as somebody who works, I work for a gaming company, right? Like, I manage live streams for a very large publisher. Where was the team? Where was the support? I'm a one-man team. I do this by myself a lot of the time. What were they doing? Why weren't they prepared? I don't understand. As somebody who like has a little bit of a glimpse into the back end of that type of stuff, I have never understood how Behavior continues to put on these type of events with what appears to be almost no organization. That's the thing I don't understand. And, you know, like, Behavior, happy to help. Throwing it out there. I happen to know a decent amount about this stuff. But yeah, crazy. Honestly, Nick, I feel like that's a common issue right now. I feel like there's a lot of anti-cheats that are essentially just ineffective. The modern era of anti-cheats is a barrier, not a preventer. It is the modern era of anti-cheat seems to be essentially like a padlock of like, it's there. It prevents a lot of people who aren't willing to try hard enough. But if you've got a bolt cutter, oh well. It all started when they launched in the Epic Games for free. If they never did that, they wouldn't have this mountain to climb. That's also fair. in general, I think that anytime you open up a game for free to a wide audience on multiple platforms, you're going to run into the potential that people are going to find cracks to wiggle into in terms of cheats. It's just it's near impossible to create a web tight enough to avoid anybody slipping through on multiple platforms cohesively without a dedicated, like, well-equipped team. Oh, for sure. 1,000%. I feel like that goes for, I mean, like, Sea of Thieves runs into that issue, Siege runs into that issue, like pretty much any free-to-play online game. And DBD isn't even free-to-play, which is also crazy. But I guess in some ways we were talking about Epic, it was free-to-play. Anytime you open up the floodgates as wide as free-to-play, there are going to be people who are going to find holes in your system, unless you have dedicated people who are good at their jobs, constantly searching for and filling those holes always. Barbara legendary skin win. That'd be so sick. Like a justice for Barbara. That'd be so sick. Barb. Bring back Barb. I mean, they have that really bad Jonathan skin for Steve. I would love to see a Barb skin for Nancy. That'd be hilarious. But I guess, to be fair, as far as Dead by Daylight goes with like their body, they do the body type thing, right? Of like they have certain body types for certain characters, and they have to fit that same frame. I feel like Barb would have to be like a Jane Romero or somebody. Is Jane the Nancy Altskin? Jim Hopper coming to Dead by Daylight. Jim Hopper. Yes, Rick Grimes and the woman whose name I don't know. I haven't seen Walking Dead. Michonne, yes. And then they also have the alt skin for Rick. That's the guy from Death Stranding, whose name I know but can't think of right now. Daryl. Isn't that like most of the show? I don't know how many seasons there are. Norman Reedus. Yes, thank you. Norman Reedus is correct. I think I watched all of like one episode of Walking Dead ages ago. I never actually played it. We talked about Dead by Daylight too much. Jade got the itch. 11 seasons. So yeah, that's more than half. And counting specials and spin-offs. There were spin-offs? I don't know. There were spin-offs, I don't think. Yeah, I just want them to rework Demogorgon, man. Demogorgon sounds like he's got concrete feet, and I want the like rapid four-legged. I feel like basically, I've said this before on stream. When they released Alien, I feel like Alien is everything the Demogorgon should have been. Demogorgon should have been the way they did Alien. I would love to see the mall. Can you imagine the mall? The Stardust Mall or whatever it's called? That'd be a great map. Or if you had like the Upside Down. If you had the like Vecna's Dream region. Or you could do I guess the third option would be what's the house of the guy? The number one's house. The one who's, I can't remember his name. But the guy's house that they like a bunch of season 4 is set in. That could be a very cool map too. Yeah, I just want Demogorgon to be actually like live, dude. I want Demogorgon to feel like a predator, not like clown shoe March bot. Concrete shoe McGee. Douche. I want it so bad. especially now that they like, and admittedly, I recognize the Demogorgon came out early in Dead by Daylight, right? I recognize that they, is that Dahai Chihuahua? Amazing. Hello, welcome, good morning. How are you? I recognize that Demogorgon came out very early in Dead by Daylight. I recognize that they did not have four-legged characters in Dead by Daylight yet. They hadn't done Dracula's wolf form. They didn't have the dog trainer. I recognize that generally speaking, they had not done four-legged characters yet, but now they have. They hadn't done Alien. And so I want a four-legged Demogorgon. I want the Demogorgon to feel like a predator. I don't even know how to feel it right now. About what? If you don't mind me asking. God, it would be so good. Don't feel bad though. About what? I don't know what we're feeling bad about. But yes, I'm very excited. I would love that. Even if that's the only thing we got. If the only thing we got was a rework of Demogorgon, I'd be happy. I would be happier if we got a rework of Demogorgon, if we got the actual voice actors for Steve, Nancy, to play their characters, or if we got Nancy to not stop looking like an emaciated drug addict in Dead by Daylight. I would love that as well. And then if we were able to get a Stranger Things Vecna skin or another version of a couple characters, whether it's like we got Eddie or we got Hopper or we got another villain, like I'd be down for all of that. But at minimum, just give me a Demogorgon that isn't a concrete clown shoe giant walking fool. Got my dream car yesterday. I haven't slept, just watched the sunrise. Hell yeah, congratulations. That's awesome. That's exciting. What was your dream car by chance? What's the car? Yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm also really hopeful that they end the series well, because I've really enjoyed the series overall. And I also think they've done a good job amping the series up over time. Like, it gets darker as the show goes on. And I haven't had a ton of complaints about like the series. I think that in general all the characterization is good. They haven't had anything that didn't really hit. And so I'm very excited. I'm hoping it lives up to its previous quality. I don't want another like Arcane situation. I'm not familiar with a Hurricane Storado, but congratulations. I'm excited for you. They may pull an Arcane and try to an Arcane. I don't think so. I think the difference between this and Arcane is Arcane's only had 2 seasons, and it felt like they had to stuff stuff in. I feel like this one they've had a lot longer to plan, and it's been more drawn out. And so I'm hopeful, and it sounds like they had more planning, right? They've taken time. It hasn't been rushed. And so I'm crossing fingers. They seem to be more methodical and measured in their approach than Arcane was, because I don't think they necessarily anticipated how crazy Arcane would be with season 1, and I feel like they were underprepared for season 2 being all that was left. It's a Lamborghini. Hell yeah, I do know Lamborghini. I do know that. That's a big purchase. Congratulations. So it's also just crazy to think about the fact that these, like, it's been a very long running show, right? Like, the kids are adults now, and they started as kids. They were like 10, 11. And now they're all fully grown adults, which is just insane. Off-road capable spec. Hell yeah. Oh, wow. Limited number. That's cool, man. Congrats. Yeah, I'm very hopeful. Sasha and I both love Stranger Things. We got back into it we had like watched all of it and then we fell off, and then we actually a couple years ago, this was during stream, I think we shared it in the Discord years ago, we went to a Stranger Thing like Halloween event that was like a drive-through theater experience of Stranger Things season 3, I believe. So good, got completely rehooked on it, started to watch it back to front again in lead up to season 4, and then we got Safune, Pesqui, and Prohibit all into it because none of them had seen it, or some of them had seen like only one season or whatever, and so we watched it through with all of them and all watched season 4 together. And so I'm very excited to wrap it up. I agree. Well, this was their launch, right? Like this was their big thing, was Stranger Things. This was their baby. This is what made them famous. And like, admittedly, Sean Levy, who's the producer for Stranger Things, has gotten into a bunch of stuff, right? Like he is very prolific as a producer now and is very busy. But I also feel like this is a project that he particularly cares about and Netflix really cares about, because it's one of Netflix's like literal flagships. And so I can't imagine that there's anything but massive resources being dedicated to it. I think the only risk that we run is if we run into, the only thing that I'm potentially concerned about is the Spider-Man scenario of like, it's so successful and so loved and there are so many people invested in it that we run into too many cooks in the kitchen and they muddy the waters. That's the only scenario I feel like could potentially be a threat. But I'm hopeful that between the Duffers and Levy and Netflix, that they all have an understanding by this point, and I think the series run as long as it has and to the success that it has, that they know what to touch and not what to touch. They don't know what to touch and what not to touch, right? So that's my thought. But I'm hopeful. I'm very excited. And at some point soon, I think Sasha and I are going to have to rewatch and prep for it. So maybe that's something that we do as like a Discord watch party. Maybe Jade, you're asking for movie suggestions. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe at some point we watch Stranger Things. My husband and I, we watch it probably 4 to 5 times a year. It's so good. It's so good. And I also love that each season feels like it has a distinct identity, right? Like season 1 versus season 3 are vastly different series in both tone and approach. Like they're just different. The perfect kickoff to fall show. It's true. It's true. And to be fair, like pretty much the whole show is set in kind of that like fall autumn period, except for, is it season 3 that's 4th of July? And even then it kind of feels fallish. Doesn't really feel like too summery. We should have a watch party for Fallout. I still haven't seen any of the Fallout show. But also I've only played Fallout 4. So, and I know that Tot's going to want to watch it, and Tot hasn't played any Fallout. So I need to get Tot to play Fallout first. And then we're going to watch it. So you don't need to play to watch. I know, but it adds, right? I'm not saying it's necessary, but it amplifies, I think. I think it's helpful. Arguably you shouldn't play before you watch. Oh, it's a prequel? To which one? Well, the different games take places at different points canonically, right? All the games are hundreds of years after. The Fallout games aren't linked. They're not a shared universe? I thought they were different regions. But a shared universe, I thought. Unless I'm vastly mistaken. Shared universe, not story. Okay, well, the three of you just said vastly different things. Let's look this up. Let me pull it up. Fallout chronology. Okay. Okay, yeah, there is an order. It says, oh, this is not, hold. So it says the order is 76 Fallout Tactics 2, 3, New Vegas 4. Oh, the earliest is 2102. That's so depressing. Uppies. I see uppies. I grant uppies. Please hold. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello, we're here to explain.
Okay, let me... Hold on, where is... Let me put the chat heads back on. I turned them off earlier because I was doing the recording for... There we go. Heads. I'm going to sneeze.
Cool.
You love a good head.
Everybody
Jesus
loves good
Christ.
head. Heads. Heads. Zzz. The mic cut it off, I swear. Anyway,
Yeah,
continue.
Heads. There's multiple of us here, you know? We're all about
Name our
sharing.
games and TV series by chronological year.
Yeah. So this is the years, it says.
Yeah.
Here, I'll zoom. That's not zoom.
So, yes, there's an order in the fact that the games take place in a year. They're all part of the same universe, right? All the same stuff, some of the same creatures, and some of the same factions exist across the games. And there are some storylines and Easter eggs that hint to previous games, but arguably, you do not need to play any one game first to know what's happening in the next game. Each game is independent and it will explain that faction, what it is, and some of the history. You can get a lot of that from like the reading, which I personally never do in games, but there's a lot of reading that hints at different things within the games themselves as well. But there's not really any like one character that travels across all the games that is playable.
Well, I guess
also, I
Go ahead.
think I can count on both hands how many characters actually cross over. And there's a lot of characters, so that's really small.
Well, I also think I didn't realize that the bombs dropped so many times.
Yeah, so it's absolutely Apocalypse Skyrim.
I mean, that's Bethesda.
Yeah. Also, the thing that I keep coming back to, the years on the Fallout TV series are wrong.
Are they?
Yes. So the TV series, avoiding spoilers as much as I possibly can, it has a thing where it flashes before the war and after the war.
Got it.
So and it doesn't list any of the before the war, which is long before 76 happens.
Okay.
You don't see any pre-war stuff in 76.
Well, so Blitzpop, Elder Scrolls is made by the same company that makes Fallout. It's the same company and essentially the same formula and mechanics. It's just a different setting. Emmy,
I think
hello.
that's what they're saying.
I would argue that probably the best way to experience it right now, as it is if you wanted to play a game before, play Fallout New Vegas, then watch the TV series.
So I
and
played
then come back to
4
it.
personally. 4 is the only one I've played, and then I played the beginning of 3 years ago. So I know like the opening couple sequences of 3. I've played 4. I have not seen the show yet. I was planning on having Tot play through at least 1 before we start the show so that she had a better appreciation for the setting. But if that's not necessary, we could just start with the show. Emmy, I'm doing great. How are you?
I think the show definitely has references that you will appreciate more if you play the game. But I also think it's a very good lead into the games.
Interesting.
Because you do get to see that pre-war stuff, so you understand the story going in.
Yeah, and there's So yes, if you play the games and you watch the show, you're going to see all the Easter eggs and be like, oh, that is a reference to this, and that's so cool. But the vice versa is true, right? If you watch the show and then you go play the games, you're going to say, oh, I know this from the show, right? And so I think either way, you still get that factor.
Oh, interesting. The prologue of 4 is before.
That is true. The prologue of 4 is all pre-war stuff.
Yeah,
but also,
first
I
10
wonder
minutes.
if this isn't placing the TV show, because like that should also
Here's
be
the
there.
show.
Yeah, so right, the show is in 2296, but they definitely have some pre-war stuff in the show as well.
Like a lot. I would argue it's half of it.
Yeah.
Is it like flashbacks?
No, I would agree.
Yeah, but long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's like it's
whole episodes.
It's formative.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't realize there was that much
also,
time jumping.
I think I've got one more argument for why you should watch the show first. Because of your guys' location,
Yes.
I think
Well,
the
it
show is an
said-
even better tie-in
It
to
said
like starting to appreciate the Fallout universe.
not this one, it was the other one. It said that it was in greater Los Angeles area. And also
is,
apparently
yeah.
the first Fallout was in Southern California too, so it makes sense that they said it there. Whereas I know 4 is like Boston essentially. But
Yeah, 3 is DC, 4 is Boston. Obviously, New Vegas is Vegas.
yeah. Interesting.
I think in Fallout Tactics you can go to Indianapolis. So yeah, they've been all over the place.
Yeah, and there's like in 3, there's or what's it 4? There's some different DLCs that'll take you to other places. Like 3, you technically go to like Philadelphia for a little while, or
Interesting.
Pittsburgh. They also have a couple of settings in Pittsburgh as well. So like it expands out to different locations, absolutely. But once again, none of that is necessarily needed to enjoy other games and or the TV
But yeah,
series.
to what Blitzpup said, it's exactly how you would approach the Elder Scrolls games. Like those don't have to be played in order.
True. Because they're all different regions and different
Yep.
historical periods.
They share
Yeah.
overarching lore, but not a cohesive storyline per se.
Yeah, they're amongst all the games and even in the show, right? There's 3 main factions that you'll run into, but outside of those and some of their lore that crosses over, you don't even need to know about them hopping into any one game or the show. So
Game Lover Pizza Chomper, are you asking for like pizza toppings or like brand of pizza? Because those are different questions. I have to clarify.
is this
Papa
the Death
John's
Alt account?
pepperoni.
Well,
I will take no other
any.
answers.
Honestly, I
Really?
think
Papa John's?
there's a local chain where I grew up. I recognize that this is a niche answer, but my favorite pizza is Nicolo's cheese pizza from the Denver suburban area. It's like a family-owned chain. It's like 2 to 3 shops, and it's incredible. It's Chicago style. I know Jackie's gonna tell me I never say it right. She says it's Nicolo's. I call it Nicolo's. I love it to death. See, I call it Nicolo's. She calls it Nicolo's, like Nick saying it. But either way, I like Nicolo's. It has a more oomph to it. I know you worked there. I don't care. That's where it's at, bro. Sounds yum. It's so good, dude. It's so good. I promise. Will not be disappointed. If you're ever in the Denver metro area, check out Nicolo's or Nicolo's. But it's bomb. It's Chicago style. I love it to death. Every time I go home to visit my parents, I try and grab it. They give you dough to play with also? Wait, what? I've never had this. What are you talking about? Make your own energy drink brand and 4 different flavor drinks. What would they be? Also pepperoni. That's where it's at. You know, more for you, man. Pepperoni ain't my thing, but like power to you. You can come out right now. Go to Nicolo's.
A good niche topping, right? Like I go to new pizza places for the odd stuff that they make. You know, I can get a pepperoni anywhere, right?
That's
but how
true.
many places can you get, I don't know, random barbecue chicken with caramelized onions on it? Not too many.
Okay, I will say, oh god, I just like cracked my
That is
jaw.
becoming a lot more common, but
There is a pizza place out here that makes this. I'm gonna see if I can get it without showing the actual pizza place. Oh, I guess it's fine. It's in like I live in LA. It's a pretty naming a specific pizza place isn't gonna dox me. There's a pizza place called the Luggage Room, and they make this incredible. It's called the Cry Baby Cry pizza, I think. Wait, it's permanently closed? No.
They
When?
made an incredible pizza.
No. In April it closed? No.
well,
I'm so
Sad days.
upset. Hold on. Well, now I need to
also,
look up
can
the
we talk
recipe.
about how you're worried about doxing yourself? Why is that a thing? Why are you worried about doxing yourself? Your name is literally your name.
Yeah, but also my name, like, let's be clear. My name could be in the witness protection program, right? Like, it's not like I'm like, I don't know, like Lexington
Leonardo
Northwest
DiCaprio.
or something. Like, yeah, like something super unique that like everyone's gonna find. Like, if you search my name, I guarantee you, if you Google my name, generally speaking, you're gonna get the guy from Panic at the Disco first. Like, I'm a little bit safe just from the fact that I have a very generic name. Dude, am I not gonna be able to find this recipe now? Hold up. They've got it, somewhere's gotta have like a record of this pizza. Because like their website is down, but
That's
somebody's
usually what
got to
happens
have.
when you go out of business. And you
Yeah,
stop
but you got to
operating.
have. There's got to be a somewhere that has like an online record of their menu. I'm looking. Hold on, I'm
Time to
looking
go
through
to
websites.
the Wayback Machine.
Wayback Machine might work. Wayback Machine, and then let me grab the website.
Why does everybody call it Wayback Machine if the name of that site is the Internet Archive?
Actually, well, it's because it says the Wayback Machine. It has the title of it. This page is available on the web. Yeah, but I need it to go back. Oh, well, it's giving me the redirect. I don't want the redirect. Also, the music stopped. Yeah, Game Lover, you like this is actually really bad, sad news. And if I don't know if Sasha can hear me in the other room, but she's gonna be upset. This page is available on the web. I know.
What was this place called?
It's called the Luggage Room in Pasadena. I can't get it to work on the Layback Machine. It was awesome pizza. So I have to ask Game Lovers Pizza Chomper, is this like your standard intro into streams of like, hey, what type of pizza do you munch on when you game? Or are you just like compiling a list of everyone's favorite pizza? I have to ask. And if there is a list, can you share it?
Could be a confidential survey.
Luggage Room Pasadena menu. Okay. Hold on. Did you find it? Yeah. They closed. Okay, she found a photo. So it's crispy shallots, pickled red onion, spring onion, roasted garlic, and Savile Row white cheddar. It's called the Crybaby. It was so good, dude. It was so good. It had it was like this green pesto-y sauce. It's very oniony. Your breath was always bad after, but God, it tasted so good. Nope, just an introduction. Well, a hell of an introduction. It's wonderful to meet you. How did you find us today? I want to try. I highly recommend it. It was incredible. So good. Also, my music has decided that's gonna stop auto playing for some reason. I will say, in terms of the Fallout show, I absolutely intend to watch it. It's something that we plan to watch. It is something that you actually... Oh, wow. You actually found me a while ago. Well, hi. A year ago today. That's insane. Well, welcome back. It's good to see you. It's something that we plan to watch. It is going to be a bit because we're finishing. So we're currently multiple seasons into Better Call Saul. And we need to finish that. We're in the middle of watching Ted Lasso with Sifune, which we need to get back on the horse for. And then the two series that are coming next is Tot has made me swear that we're going to watch Doctor Who because she's wanted me to watch Doctor Who with her for forever. And then we need to watch, I told her that we need to watch Firefly. And then I think we're back to open. Oh, I remember Kirby with the snacks. That makes sense. Clearly you're into food. Clearly food is your thing. I understand. But yes, that's kind of we have a pizza called Kebab Pizza. Well, that's because you live in Sweden. Kebab is everywhere. Kebab is huge in Sweden. It's like kebab and fika are the two things you can find everywhere. And that's because fika isn't even a specific food. It's an activity. Not everyone doing. All right, everybody, we've only got a few minutes left of stream. Is there anything that anyone wants to chat about before we wrap up for the evening? We got about 5 minutes left to stream. And then on Thursday, with these two hooligans and with Death, we're going to be doing some Wildgate, which I have yet to do on stream. And I am excited about because I haven't played it since the beta. So that's exciting.
Hang on to that excitement. It'll be needed.
Oh, no. Are you guys burnt out on it or something?
No.
That's
We just
ominous.
really hope you don't get our MMR.
It's just there's some sweats on the game now. Obviously, it's a PvP game, so
that's true.
We will be having some fun.
I'm not particularly worried.
Dying a lot.
We need to have you host, and we need to hope to God that their MMR system is not that good.
I'm not terribly worried about it. I think that, like,
I will have fun either way. I mean,
that's true.
Part of the fun is just the fights, not necessarily winning, depending on who you ask. But I do think that there are certain fights where in teams that we'll go up against that we basically could be standing still because we're dead the whole time anyways. That's less fun. So hopefully we don't get any of those, but if we do, we'll just have to make the best of it.
Well, that's fair. And I also think that, like, I can hold my own in PvP pretty well. I think that, like, I'm obviously not going to be as familiar with the specific mechanics of the game as you guys at this point because you guys have played a decent amount more than me. But when we were playing, at least previously, I was able to keep up at least decently well. And then the other thing is I'm also happy to be the ship keeper for most of it. And handle any PvP that comes our way and or handle just cannons rather than being like the ones that are venturing out into the unknown. So that's fine by me. Energy drink flavor and name of the brand. Well, I feel like name of brand would obviously have to be like either like a play on Rockhab something or like a Ryan Ross Live vibe. Like Guild Guzzlers or something. I don't know. Like I'm just spitballing names out of my ass.
Ryan Ross Live fit.
But like, I'd have to come up with something along those lines. And
Maybe
then
not guild guzzlers. That doesn't sound appetizing or appropriate.
and then
Guild guzzlers. We'll guzzle your guild.
and then as far as 4 flavors, dark cherry, cola, a like cidery like apple flavor, and a deep grape would be my 4 flavors that I would go for. That sounds like a
Really?
solid
Grape?
spread. Oh yeah, fucking love grape.
Grape. I think so. I was all on board, especially if the apple is a crisp green apple. I love green apples. I'm more of a sour fan.
I'm more like a sweet apple guy, so I'd probably be going for like a cidery, like a sweet cider vibe.
But a orange sickle. I love an orange sickle energy drink.
I respect it, but I'm not a big orange guy. In almost
I
any
would
sense.
argue that an orange sickle doesn't actually taste like oranges.
That's a fair point. Favorite type of cuisine? Are you just like talking like regionally? I have so much Mexican food, dude. Mexican or pasta. Like, actually, you know what? I'll just go as far as to say I have what is essentially a very medieval diet. I eat a lot of meat, cheese, and bread. And I'm getting better about fruit. I've always loved bananas. I'm getting better about mixing in like grapes and apples and stuff into my diet more regularly. But like, I tend to exist on a very bread, meat, and cheese diet of most things. And
like
most of that meat is chicken.
I'd like to point out in this, in your age classification, you need to add more fiber to your diet, man.
I do.
Your future self will thank you. As someone who is older and wiser.
Well, that's why I'm trying to get like more apples and
fiber.
grapes and stuff in. So, because like apples are very fibrous. And I do have a decent amount of lettuce on things. I just don't have a decent amount of lettuce on its own. But I hope that answers that question. Carrots is good fiber. I like baked carrots. Tot makes some incredible baked like sweet carrots. They're bomb. I'm not a big like carrot on their own guy. I'm not somebody who's like gonna have like little baby carrots. Not my thing. No.
You need to start throwing in some legumes.
I don't have a lot of experience with legumes. Oh, you mean just beans? I'm not. We don't like beans.
I'm talking
Neither
about
of us
beans.
neither of us like beans. So actually that
Really?
statement stands. Both of us. I don't mind green beans in certain settings.
Didn't you just say you have a lot of Mexican food? Isn't that like a staple?
Yeah,
As
and
a
we don't
base?
get them. We
Okay.
replace with rice exclusively. We have you hold on. I charge you. I'm going to highlight your question, and I'm going to tell you that the username is Dictator Tot. You tell me. We have a lot of potatoes. Particularly her. But we have a lot of potatoes.
Potatoes are just so versatile.
They are. It's true. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. Honestly, though, like, I'm a pretty, like, au gratin potatoes, dude. Some au gratin potatoes fucking slap. Probably one of my favorite types of potato preparation. I'm not a big mashed potato person. I would take a baked potato over mashed potato pretty much any day, especially with fixins. Spice baked potatoes are okay, but I like home style, home style potatoes. I like au gratin potatoes. I generally am a sweet potato over regular potato guy. I love sweet potatoes. I love sweet potatoes. I love sweet potato fries. She likes potatoes more than me. Au gratin's so good, but that's also I'm a cheese guy. Shocker. All right, everybody. I think that's gonna do it for today. What was that?
I was just gonna say what you need is layer some Parmesan, take some baked like red potatoes, right? The stuff that you
Yeah, like the
usually
purple
use in
ones,
like
yeah, yeah.
skillet stir fries. Smash them with a cup, put some more Parmesan, a little bit of oil, and some whatever you want to top, like loaded any topping that goes on like loaded tater tots, you just throw on top of there as well. More Parmesan, bake that nice and crisp with the Parmesan getting cooked and burnt. Ah, chef's kiss.
I would swap you Parmesan for cheddar, but I agree with everything else you said. I've never had sweet potato chips on pizza. Or are you saying sweet potato chips, or are you saying potato chips that are sweet? Because that's a distinction. I have seen potato chips on pizza. I've never seen sweet potato chips on pizza. But I feel like which side potato goes on of that sentence is important. Otherwise I respect it. Sweet potatoes. Yeah, that's a new one on me, but I'd be down. I would try it. I guess one last note before we move on. Have either of you guys seen that chef on TikTok who like reviews terrible food? Like it's all these like, it tends to be middle-aged white people. But they have like these like terrible recipes where they will bake something in their house and they try and make like a food preparation video with it. And this guy watches and it's like, oh my God, this is basically a food crime. And he like just basically complains the whole time. And then at the end, he'll go like 5 out of 10, I'd try it or some shit. It's very good. Very funny.
I think I have seen 1 or 2 of those.
He's good. He's great. He's like a professional chef who... is that the title of the thing? Is just chef reactions? He's great. I love him so much. That sounds disgusting. I would never. Talk about a food crime. All right. On that lovely note, I think that is going to wrap up for today, everybody. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, drop a follow, drop a subscribe. I hope to see you back. Otherwise, have a wonderful rest of your evening. Make every day an adventure. I'm your host, Ryan Ross Live, signing off. A couple quick thank yous before we go. Ghostly, first and foremost, for being our random encounter today, as well as Hermes and Team Money for your expertise in the Fallout universe. Nick for the resub for 75 months. I appreciate it greatly. Welcome back to the table round. Game Lover, wonderful to see you again, as well as everybody who participated today. Charchu, Emmy, Blitzpup, Envy, everybody who is participating in Random Encounter today, asking questions or just hanging out. Of course, I appreciate each and every one of you being here and being a part of this awesome community. This community is nothing without each and every one of you, and it means the world to me that you guys choose to spend time here sincerely. So we will raid off. I'll see you guys Thursday for Wildgate with these two in depth. Looking forward to that. Let me find a good person to raid off to. I'll give you guys some choices. We got a number of people today. I'll try and avoid any partners or anything that we're streaming today. But we have either D&D, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, Hunt Showdown, Repo, Enshrouded, Teamfight Tactics, or Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis, which I don't know anything about. Those are our options. Does any of those sound particularly interesting to raid off to specifically? Anyone have any attachment to any of those game titles? Going once. Going twice. Going 3 times. All right, then I will head down the middle. We'll go show some love to no attachment. We'll go show some love to I'm named AJ, doing a co-stream and playing Enshrouded. I don't know nothing about Enshrouded. But we'll show them some love. He is streaming to a little bit fewer viewers, so hopefully we make somebody's day a little bit. So, like I said, guys, show the raid some love. I appreciate each and one of you being here. Again, make every day an adventure. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Good night, farewell, and bye-bye.